All right, welcome everyone. We're the Bad Plans D&D crew. My name is Jay. I'm the DM, and this is episode 13. If you can believe that,
Lucky.
of the
Lucky
long
number 13.
death. It's very long. It's an ongoing
Some of us are already dead. But...
epic Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Yes, some of us are already dead. The rest of you are participating in the rest of the long death as it happens. We are live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, right here on Twitch. If you miss an episode or want to go back and watch all the other episodes, you can find us on YouTube as well. You can hit exclamation YouTube in chat to get the link to that. We are like 3 or something subscribers away from 100, so that would be awesome.
So close.
If you're in chat
Do
right
it,
now,
do it, yeah, tonight.
go. Hit that button. That helps us out a lot. Also here on Twitch, I think we're like, I can't see it from here, but we're literally like 3 or 4 subs away from, or followers rather, from 200. So 100 over there, 200 here. We can hit that tonight. I think so. Thank you very much.
Sub alert.
Hey, all right. Nice.
Thank you.
Get the train going.
Speaking of Big Daddy Tej, special guest star tonight. Kira is back. Big welcome.
Hello.
How's it going, Tej?
Nothing.
For any of folks in chat who might not have been here last week, do you want to give a little quick kind of who are you?
Yes.
Who are you and who's Kira?
We all know
maybe?
the Teach crew, man.
Not actually British. I know it's a big
Not
disappointment.
actually British.
Not actually British. No.
Are you sure?
No, actually, I have no idea. But no, I'm Tej. I'm a Destiny addict. I create content on Twitch a couple times a week. I love this stuff. My character is the same in Destiny, is like an alternate version of her that I've made for D&D. Her name is Kira. I don't know, she's like my online alter ego, which, you know, saying that out loud as a 30-year-old man who operates mostly as a female half-elf rogue feels a little weird, but you know,
Very healthy.
It's not that weird, man, in today's situation. So
but it's great to be here. It's great to meet all you guys. If you like communities about kindness and supporting each other and being loved and accepted no matter what your walk in life has been or your worldview is, then come out and check out stream sometime. That's what we're all about.
well said.
Yay.
It's
Well
fun,
said.
man. It's a good place. Hang out with the Teach crew.
The
Teach
Tej
yourself.
crew.
It's good.
Is that what you call them? That's what you call them, right?
Another-
That's what
Vin
we.
is, like,
Vin has
tripling
branded
down.
them.
Not just doubling down.
We're
He's just
just-
like, I'm
no,
going
no,
all
no,
in, guys.
Here we go.
Yep.
Hey, no, man, we're excited. We're super excited too that we have our sponsors back this week at Next Level Gaming, and I haven't actually checked it, but as of like 30 minutes ago, they were $21 away from their stretch goal. So that's yet another thing that we could see
$21?
tonight.
On their
$21
Kickstarter?
$21.
in their Kickstarter. Yeah. So
Really?
if somebody wants to put
That's
in
like one
sponsor,
book.
it,
One book.
yeah,
Is there a link in the chat? Can people go?
yeah,
and...
let's do it, man.
I'll
Let's
throw
put
it
their
in. Yeah,
link
go
too
ahead.
for the Kickstarter, because that's what we've been really hyping up this whole month is their Kickstarter. They've done great. They already passed they made it through their initial round. Now they're, like I said, $21 away from their first stretch goal. We want to see that happen because we want to see great content. We've been loving using their stuff, and so yeah, really excited. And tonight, actually, we're giving away not just a seat at one of their games, because these are professional DMs that they play about 40 to 50 games a month, but this week we're also giving away one of these books. So whoever wins the giveaway tonight is going to be able to get a book and a seat at one of their games, and so really excited about that. So make sure you join the giveaway. Is the giveaway active right
No, it isn't.
now? Okay, no.
Oh.
Nope.
So
But I'm
just wait
but
a
I'm
few
gonna do that
minutes.
real quick.
Wait
Well,
Just a madman anyway.
And, that's right. Haha.
Oh.
It's how we're gonna
there will
trick
be a
that man.
giveaway in a
Yeah.
minute or two here.
There will be a giveaway.
Just hang tight.
At the break is when we normally do that. That's right. so yeah, but we're excited, really happy for those guys, and love seeing what's going on. And of course, now they have to finish a book, but they've already got a great start on it. They've been writing this stuff for the last several years in all the games they play. So excited for them, and turn it over to Belrissa to talk about some of this stuff.
Woo.
Yep.
All right, we've got merch, and Big Daddy Tej tells me if you wear the merch, you will have the drip. Did I use that right?
It's
Wait,
perfect.
what?
I think that sounds exactly right.
The intonation was good, I thought.
Sounded right to me.
It sounded right.
JV, I love you. It was perfect.
Okay. So we have 4 different designs. We've got the big logo, and then we've got this one, and then we've got 2 that are like on the pocket side. And they come in purple and black and navy blue. So whatever you want to drip, you can do.
Yes. It's
a new word.
For all the seasons too, we have tanks
I
and
know.
sweats, long sleeve, short sleeve.
I can't
Baby
wait for that
onesies.
2-week, like that 2-week period in the winter where I can wear that sweatshirt, man. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah.
So exclamation merch works this time. Check it out.
Hey.
Exclamation point drip gets you.
It unlocks the secret merch, the
Linked right
Ziggy
in.
merch. Oh, that's what we should call the Ziggy line. Drip.
Drip.
The Ziggy line.
The
Drip.
Ziggy, it's
Nice.
all leather. Pleather.
So
Yes.
much drip.
Oh man, well done, well done. Yeah, exclamation giveaway. If you didn't catch that, jump in that giveaway. We'll do the usually about the halfway point, halftime, hour and a half or so from now. We'll do the drawing. So do that, and yeah, all right, great. Anything else you guys want to shout out? Any promo stuff? You guys got any cool projects going on? Anything before we dive in?
Oh.
Oh. Teach.
There's a hand.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, 29th, from 9 to 2 or whenever I feel like ending. I'm raising money for StackUp.org. They're a charity organization benefiting active duty and veteran military personnel at home and abroad. And they do things like send them care packages full of video games and cool stuff to kind of ease the woes of what it's like to live in the desert, which I cannot imagine what that must be like. In the name of keeping us safe and keeping freedom going. So definitely come on out if you want a nice tax write-off. Donate to a wonderful cause and support some fantastic folks.
Can you tell us one of the crazy things that's going to be on the
One of
on the
them.
list? Yeah, one of the
Hey.
crazy things.
All right, I can
Let's go.
I can leak one. So
Okay.
I have mentioned in the past that that I that I do Destiny voice impressions of
Yes.
characters in Destiny. I'll be playing Destiny, and I think the dollar amount is if you make a $50 donation, I will record your outgoing voicemail as the character of your choice.
Awesome.
So if you want a Destiny character to have your outgoing voicemail,
Can it be the monologue from oh shit, what was that movie with Liam Neeson?
Oh yeah.
Dang it! Was it
Oh, no.
Taken?
Don't
It was
have money.
Taken, right?
Taken.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I was
yeah,
gonna say. I was thinking
And
that on
or
it.
the song.
I just watched.
Oh my
stanza.
god.
Oh yeah,
That's
there you go.
extensive, man. That's it's like crossover media too.
Uh-huh.
Destiny
Yeah.
character doing.
Doing Liam
Doing-
Neeson.
Specifically that monologue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Epic.
somebody already wanted me to have Shax do the "You can't handle the truth" line from A Few Good Men.
Nice.
Because he screams all the time. But yeah, so there'll be fun stuff like that.
You can't handle the truth. Leave
Yeah.
a message.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
Awesome.
man.
Okay.
I'll do it for you, Jesse. $50 towards StackUp.org. You can have that as your outgoing voicemail.
I'm gonna brainstorm. I'm gonna brainstorm.
I think we can figure something out here.
It's 1B right now.
Step one: how do I program my outgoing voicemail? Like that's,
For $75 donation, I'll also
Hey.
do a tutorial.
Tutorial.
I'll also
Walkthrough. That's funny.
All right, let's get rolling here. After spending a few weeks in Portsmouth, resting, recuperating, and getting to know the town, you received a message from Mortimer Gastmere, the wagon man who somehow put Vinadil's ghostly spirit into the body of a warforged. You'd been waiting for him to come back with more answers, but instead, you received a letter. It was brought to you by another wagon man by the name of Jeep, an associate of Mortimer's, who also brought with him a mechanical trinket that he gave to Thorcum. You immediately recognized it, Thorcum, as a small piece of the power core of 13, your old guardian. Mortimer's letter, it was intriguing. It read that he'd found something, but that he couldn't get back to Portsmouth just yet. Instead, he asked that you all come to him in the ruins of Stillgate. At one point in time, it was a large, densely populated city, but now, Stillgate was nothing more than a ruin, a shadow. As the tales tell, it was one of the worst hit by the plague. Rumors of the place, even back in Great Haven, tell of no one escaping, not a single soul. It's now known as a no man's land. The wagon men avoid it, the Perch, the Rangers, the Hobgoblin tribes in the north. They all tell the same story. Stillgate brings death, and nobody who ventures there ever returns. So, naturally, that's where you're headed. The week or so of travel to get here from Portsmouth was largely calm, except for about halfway here, you came upon a strange device in the forest. A small metallic cylinder that, as you approached, began to hum and vibrate, getting louder by the minute, and sending thunderous, rhythmic pulses through the ground for a mile in every direction. It didn't take long before you heard them. The hideous, massive, innumerable horde of undead was being drawn to the sound as if lured by it. They found you. You ran, as one does from a horde, and as you did, the rainy weather turned worse as the skies opened up and thunder pounded in the sky. The ravine you'd fled into began to flood. In mere seconds, an insanely powerful wall of water was upon you, and the party was swept away by the absolute force of the flash flood. You fought it as best you could, utilizing your skills and magic to stay above the water, but not without taking serious damage from the debris and the chaos. When the waters finally receded, you'd escaped the horde, but many of the undead had been washed down the stream with you. You fought a fierce battle with a large group of walking corpses and skeletons, and thanks to some epic aerial tactics and a coordinated group effort to put down the largest among them, you were victorious. The rest of your travel was relatively peaceful. You moved unseen through the wilds and were able to reach your destination without issue. You now find yourself standing at the edge of the forest, overlooking a valley pass to the west, wherein lies the corpse-like city of Stillgate. The dead city lay as still as its name. No trees grow anywhere near the red walls. No bird sings, no insect chirps, and nothing moves, except, leaning against the outer wall near the large closed wooden gates, is a familiar figure. Small from this distance, but you see it clearly. The man in black, with his large, rimmed felt hat, waits patiently, looking towards the forest's edge. So, what's the plan?
Of course, this guy would be here.
Is he just like hanging out there waiting for us all day? How did he know when we'd be there? Is that Mortimer? That's Mortimer, right?
It does appear to be Mortimer, though you're still a bit of a distance.
Oh boy.
Look to everybody else.
I mean,
Let's
that's
do
why
this
we
then.
came, right? Yeah.
You know.
So,
Walk forward.
I'll be behind y'all.
okay. Can I look at, like, as we're approaching Stillgate, where he might be staying, where he came from?
Yeah, make a perception check, Jesse.
Five.
You don't
Yes.
really see anything. It's just, it's sort of, so you're kind of at the edge
That's
of this,
Mortimer.
you're at the edge of this forest, and there's a city down there in this valley, and then between the edge of the forest and the city, there is nothing. It's like just barren. It's like everything's died or just gone. It's very odd. And Mortimer's just kind of standing there. There's nothing around him at all. There's no wagon. There's no horse. There's nothing. He's just standing outside a closed gate.
Like how far away is he?
At this point, probably half a mile. You're kind of looking off in the distance. He's far enough where you couldn't like talk to him from here or anything like that. But he's a pretty distinct looking guy.
Is that more than 120 feet?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
How close is he to the gate?
Let's go.
He's to the left side of the gate, maybe just a few feet, maybe 4 or 5 feet on the side. Just kind of leaning against the reddish walls.
Okay.
The gate is closed.
The gate is closed.
Seems your friend has some wits about him.
Why do
Yeah.
you say that?
He's smart enough not to go into Stillgate.
Well, the gates are closed.
Well, not yet, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it still doesn't seem like a safe place to be hanging out.
Yeah.
Um, Man. All right.
Also, he made this abomination.
No, it's okay. We've got we've got to talk. Like the getting chased by those things. Like I know it's been a while. I've been processing, like thinking about things, not this body processing. And like you guys need to know something. Like I mean, obviously I died. Something happened. And I went to a place where like I knew I was like supposed to like go on, right? Like my time was done, and whatever it is we become when we're not bodies anymore, I was that thing. Spirits, whatever you want to call it. But I couldn't go on. I don't know what it was. It was like some lady, everything was weird there. Everything was different. It was so big but small, but there's like a lady holding her hand, blocking the pathway. And as like my spirit went and then like was pushed back down. And I get it, Jessie, like I get why, probably more than I ever have. I get why you hate these undead. But I want to tell you, they're more than just undead. They're not just husks, I don't think anyway. Because there was a time when I got shoved back into this world that I was terrified I might come out as one of them. Because those husks, I don't think they're just bodies. I think there's some kind of like twisted soul that's been shoved back beyond death into these corpses. Because I came back, Jessie, but not into my body, but just into the air. And I've seen just one or two other people that seem to have had the same fate. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not one of those things. I could have been, but something happened that kept me from getting shoved back in, from twisting my soul into whatever that is. I'm still me inside of here. But like,
You saw a lady?
I did, maybe an elf.
Because
it was huge and
Uh-huh.
yeah, but like I don't know. It's like she was keeping my soul. I don't know, all the souls. I don't know. And this is actually a point where I was going to ask the DM. Is I think about that. Did I see any other souls there, or was it just me, the lady, and the? Okay, just me, the lady, and the. Oh, okay. I don't know who else, but at least me. She wouldn't let me through. Like the way was blocked, and I couldn't get through it.
That's so weird because I had a you know when I try to talk to the tree, Savile.
You try to talk to a tree?
Yeah, okay, so there's this giant tree, this giant banyan tree, and I'm actually like in charge of it now, so I have this title to take care of it, and its name is Savile. I tried talking to it because
The tree's got a name.
Yeah.
Really old tree.
It's really old. Also,
Probably
it's
a
like
story for another trip.
like, it came from a god, but like there's this whole backstory.
It's one of my
and
closest
stuff.
friends.
Right.
Jessie talked to the tree too, but when I talked to the tree, I saw visions. I actually wrote down the story in Jessie's journal if you want to see like the full details of it later. But there was also
Would you
a
like to
woman.
give me your journal to have a quick peruse?
Jessie's like,
No.
no, thank you.
So you've been talking to trees. Kira will look at Thorcum and kind of side-eye to Vinadil. And do you think we need to change his oil?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But it was.
Is that what Thorcum's gonna respond with?
Yeah, just
That's
like,
exactly how
just like a
Thorcum
gruff
responds.
laugh.
At some point when Vinadel was recounting his story, I was taking notes, but I also cast protection from evil and good on myself.
But Vin, it was Alara. My vision had Alara in it, and she was blocking the way and said.
Wait, how
You
do
must-
you know it was Alara?
I
Yeah,
think
why
that's
would-
what I think that's what was described to me. I could be getting it wrong. Maybe I'll just say it. The woman in the vision said, "You must not open the way."
There was a silhouette.
A
Both
silhouette.
of you,
Okay, so I don't
both
know.
of you saw a similar thing. It was because the light was just immeasurably bright behind this gate, or through this gate, this circular sort of almost like a Stargate type of structure, and in the middle of it, kind of standing like this, was the silhouette of what looked to be an elven or perhaps half elven female, basically blocking that way. You did have Alara in your vision as a separate part of it, but
okay.
But you would have known that wasn't Alara actually blocking the gate.
Okay. So the way that Vin describes it, are we like connecting that we saw the same thing, or is it that we did not see the same
It
gate?
sounds no. He's describing exactly what you saw.
Okay.
Does it also sound like what I saw when I talked to the tree?
It's exactly what you saw.
That's what.
So-
That's exactly what I
Oh
saw.
my
Ghost.
gosh.
Man, I should have talked to the tree.
I,
I feel left
It was,
out.
a
Well,
good,
I
it was a good
tried.
plan.
I
It was a
walked
good plan.
into the tree, all around the tree. I saw where Alara was buried inside of the tree. I couldn't talk to the tree or interact with it. I couldn't do anything until Mortimer put me in this body. I get it's weird.
Wait, is
But-
Alara in the tree like you're in this robot?
No, Alara was just a dead corpse.
So
Like-
yes.
No, no. No, I'm not. My body is still in the. I'm pointing to the bag now. My body is still there.
Tell me something that only Vin would know.
The
Would Jesse
mirror-
know it?
The mirror foretold my death. Mhm.
Totally did.
How would
What
I
do you,
know that
um,
as Ghost Bin?
Any other
Man.
inanimate objects that you guys have been having conversations?
We do.
They
we do
talk
talk
at
to
the
strange
weirdest
things.
Like
Points.
a lot.
Just,
met a
just like mushrooms and blades of grass, you know,
Oh,
plant
yeah,
things.
One weed. Also a
One
tree
weed.
named
Weed.
Treel, which I thought was
Oh, I
And is
forgot
it-
about Treel.
So you're eating the mushrooms first. Is that how that?
Oh, I still have my
Yes,
mushroom,
It
an
did
extra
involve
mushroom.
the eating of a
You're
mushroom.
eating the mushrooms, then okay. It's all
And then we're
making a
talking
lot
to
more
trees.
sense.
Keep it.
now.
Is that yes?
It's been
Okay.
about a month now, kids. I don't think you have the mushroom anymore.
I have the mushroom. It's magic, okay?
It's now lots of
Magical
mushrooms.
object.
It's a little
So-
more dried out, but you still got
We're-
it.
We've been walking this
We
whole
preserved
time.
them.
Extra potent.
Up to Mortimer.
Yeah.
No, we're
I've-
just huddled out of
No,
earshot.
I've been walking. I've been walking up to Mortimer this whole time, but explaining this while we walk.
Nobody else thought he's talking to himself.
Just like, I just poured out all my life to everybody, and it's like,
Wait, guys?
Hey, all right, so you
Yep.
so you think that all these undead and skeletons and things are people who, oh, I mean, obviously they're people who died, but like their souls are still in them?
I don't think it's a real soul, but it might be some form of soul.
But then when you
Some
kill the
twist.
when you kill
I
the
don't-
undead, what happens to this? Does it go back?
I don't. That's
Or
what's
then
really
does
messing
it
with
get
my
to
head.
go?
Do we
Wait,
need
can you
to
talk to the
burn
undead?
every?
Can you like communicate with them? Since you are
Only-
also dead.
Only the good ones like me. I can only communicate with the other good, mostly living ones like myself.
You're not like
Absolutely.
undead. You're just
So there's
dead.
gradients of deadness, is what I'm
I
hearing.
am.
It's spectrum.
Spectrum.
Yes, it is. I am alternatively alive, right? So that I wouldn't
Wow.
even call it death. It's it's a different form of life, sure, but it's not death.
Oh, is
We've
it the third
seen
way?
Death. It's the third.
Oh my god.
Yes, as it dawns on me. Yes,
His eyes go
Oh,
real
no,
red all of a sudden,
yes.
start to glow.
The third way. Yeah. But so Ren, Sparrow's sister, is still in the city. I saw her. I didn't see a lot of other people,
Yeah,
though,
you
right,
said
Jay?
that.
Like it's
You
not
said
like
You didn't
that
see
you
anybody
talked
else.
to
No,
right,
just
so
her.
just Ren.
Hmm.
But every time someone dies, I'm looking to see if they come back good or not. And if they don't, I'm with you guys. We got to burn the body. Belrissa, that's messing up my head too.
Wait.
I don't know what
So
happens
nobody
to their
we've
souls.
killed has,
Has
come
popped back up. No,
up.
no one
You're
has
telling
turned-
me that the property we own has been haunted for like years?
It has been lived in by someone who is also alternatively alive. in this other form.
Yeah, you said she's been dead for like 13
13 years.
almost a decade
Well,
or over a decade.
The fire in Thorcom's room, that's where it came from. She died in that fire.
Yeah.
I'm mostly ignoring the conversation and walking forward. Jay, do I remember anything about the city?
I don't know that you've ever actually been in the city.
Okay.
You know of it and you've traveled nearby, but you probably wouldn't have actually been here. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kira will keep pace with Thorcom.
I'm just going to look for alternative ways in, other than where Mortimer is standing.
Third way?
This is the old episode.
The second way.
Are y'all cool if I turn into an eagle just to also scope out?
Yes.
Let's no. I mean, let's
No.
Well, maybe we
Jesse's
hold
favorite thing.
just for a second, because you can't talk to us when you're an eagle. And
Yeah, that's why I was
No,
holding
I
out. I
can
don't know
do
how
it.
close we are, but
I'll
I want to
understand
turn
you.
into an eagle the
At
closer
some
we
point.
get.
I'll
Yeah.
understand.
I got it.
Squawk once for yes, twice for no.
okay.
So I can only say yes or no.
Not really another gate. Is there any broken sections of the wall? Anything that I can see?
Not only are the walls not broken, but they're immaculate. Nothing is even close to damaged, which is a strange sort of juxtaposition against the dead everything around the walls. There's no grass growing, there's no trees, there's no insects, there's practically nothing. And the closer you get, even it's almost as if the wind itself has started to die down, and there's just this odd sort of stillness to it, appropriate with the name. You've also noticed that there was once a pretty significant road that led up to these main gates, and you can tell it hasn't been traveled near at all, probably in decades, if not longer. It's overgrown, and you can kind of see where it used to be, and you can see the remnants of the stone and everything. It's not damaged or anything, it's just hasn't seen any use whatsoever. You see the weather has sort of slowly eroded it a bit and blown things around, but there's no other gates for sure. The city itself is nestled in between these hills, these sort of smallish mountains, and you can tell, and you could see this from back where you started. There's basically this sort of mountain pass that the city is sitting in, and the road, just from your general geographical knowledge of the continent, is basically this city is sort of the pathway to the southern region of the continent. So you could sort of just hike over the mountains if you wanted to, but going through this city and taking the main road kind of out the other side is how you would get south, basically. And a lot of people used to use it for that purpose, though they don't anymore. They go around for miles and miles and avoid
Jay,
this place big time.
was Reikenen's house also like preserved in some sense?
On the inside it was. The outside was...
So it's a different feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. It's very odd. Yeah.
Belrissa, can't you see through Ziggy now?
Yeah, he can go check it out.
Because Kins, I'm assuming you want to look inside the city, over the wall. That's why you want to eagle. My only fear is that something sees you and does something to you. If they do something to the cat, we can just bring it back. Right?
Yeah, no one cares about him.
Also, he can be.
Are y'all whispering? Oh my god.
I was. I'm not sure if Thorco. I'm not sure if Thorco was.
First of all, let's not kill Ziggy. It kind of hurts him, I think. Does it hurt, Zig?
Does it hurt when I die? Is
Yeah.
that what you're asking me
Yeah,
right now? I don't know. Ask your robot friend, huh?
Wait, does
Wait.
Ziggy have 9 lives?
Oh,
You died too? You've died?
Have I died?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, no, you haven't.
No, I have not, and I would prefer not
Let's
to.
let's not kill Ziggy.
All right, good. So
But
I had protection from evil and good ready, but
No, if you did want to fly over the city, there's no reason why I couldn't ride your back and shoot at anything that we didn't give
Ooh.
you.
Yes. I
How
got
close are you
protection.
guys now to the walls?
I don't
like
know.
500 feet or so. I mean, we're
Yeah, it feels
We've
like
been
there's
walking
still
the
a
whole
bit of-
time, yeah.
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 So as you've approached, and it's not like there's any trees or anything. Mortimer has stepped away from the wall and has just sort of turned about 90 degrees, and kind of like nodded in your direction and is just sort of standing casually with his hands behind his back, just waiting for you.
I know that I don't have the like disarm traps. What did we merge that into?
That would to literally disarm traps or to just
Well,
find...
I had like a trap detection / just I don't know what we dumped that into some skill that I'm
that
sorry,
would normally be investigate. Like, what are you looking for?
I'm trying to see if he looks like he's under some kind of duress.
Sure, that would make a perception check, and everybody else can too, as you guys are.
Yes.
All right.
Did you already eagle, Kins?
Oh no. Oh, I did not eagle. Darn it. But I got a 22.
Yeah, you're
Natural
pretty good.
1. Do I get my bonus if I do that?
Yeah.
No, you can go ahead and put that bonus
Natural.
away for that one.
Okay.
Ba, 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 ba.
I got a 12.
Yeah, he does not seem, looking around, he's just standing there casually. It's a little odd because there's no one else around and the gate's closed, and there is kind of this feeling of like, how did he get here, that type of thing. But there's nothing alarming about the situation. None of you are sensing any, other than the general weirdness of the whole situation. It seems pretty normal. As you guys approach, Mortimer, he kind of steps forward and takes off his hat and he says, "I've been expecting you. Welcome. I trust your travel here was not too difficult, though traveling through the wilds these days, I know how that goes. I appreciate that you made it here so quickly. You must have left right away."
Yeah, let me stop you right there. First of all, hi, how are you? Secondly, how dare you? What is this? I point to Vin.
Oh, right. We have not had a moment to talk about that. Vinadil, how you doing? Are you enjoying your new circumstance? Or I assume it's better than, well, being dead. But you tell me.
I mean, kind of, except everyone still thinks I'm dead. Because this isn't my body.
Well, technically you are still dead, if we want to get into technicalities. But
Protection from evil. and good.
Alternatively alive. We gotta change the terms here. These
alternatively
people-
alive.
There you go.
I like your approach to situations like this. The cup is half full, sir. I agree with that. Now, technically, you are still dead, and part of why I have asked you to come here is to help you rectify that situation. But it's not going to be as easy as I hoped. That's why I figured, in the meantime, giving you at least some body you could use would be a net benefit. It seems like you're moving around just fine.
Took a little while, but yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Well, how's everyone else doing? I do not believe we have been acquainted. And he walks towards you, Kira. He takes a small bow, takes his hat off. He says, "Mortimer Gastmere, at your service."
Mortimer, my name's Kira. I've actually seen you from a distance.
You've seen me from a distance.
Certainly have.
Well, I hope I look
conversing
good.
with another wagon man who I...
Jeep.
Jeep. Yes.
Jeep. Did Jeep
Hey, you know
make it to
Jeep?
you? I mean, surely he did because you are here, but
Mhm.
I do worry about that man sometimes. Did he make it all right? Anything happen?
I'll take out the bit of the core from 13. And
Ah,
how did you come by this?
now that is a good story. One that I'm sure you're going to really enjoy, Thorcom. But this is not the right place to have that conversation. In fact, perhaps the small talk needs to come to a close, and he looks up and the sun has started to set. You're sort of closer to the mountains now, so the sun has just started to dip behind the hills, and it's starting to get a little golden in the air. He says to you, "I'm sure it has not escaped your attention that this is very much not a ruined city. Do you know anything about Stillgate?"
Just the stories. And I've seen it from a distance. Been in the area. It is a surprise. I take it you've been here before.
You could say that. The
There's
thing you
nothing
need to
behind
know,
those walls but death and sickness.
that is not untrue. but there's more to it than that. The rumors about Stillgate are true, but not in the way you'd expect. There is something different about this place. I will explain more when we get inside, but there's something you need to know. You're going to see some things. You might be a bit disturbed by what you see. You're going to see the dead. You're going to see the people of this city. They do not move. They are frozen in some sort of stasis, or they're held in place. And the vast majority of the time, they do not move. They stay perfectly still, as if frozen in a day in the life when they all died. The thing is, they don't always stay that way. It's very, very, very important that you follow me closely. Do not become distracted. And absolutely, under no circumstance are you to touch anything or interact with anyone. Do you understand?
Wait. We're going through a city full of frozen dead people who might come alive if we get too close or look at them strange?
There's a very good chance that when that sun dips below that horizon, that is going to happen, and that is why I suggest we
Move, people move.
Yeah.
Move.
we move
Go
quickly.
move.
Okay, you say not to get distracted. Is there something that would cause us to be distracted? Like, is there a pull on your mind? Do we need to tie each other with a rope or something?
He looks at
Or do we just
Jeshi,
need to stay focused?
and
Move.
he looks at Jeshi and he says, I need to know that you're gonna be able to contain yourself. I know your mind, son.
It's not up to you. Lead on.
I'm gonna look over at Thorkim and like point to 14, like have him ready in case Jeshi goes crazy.
Are you saying this to me?
I'm gonna whisper it to you. Yeah,
Jesse's stronger than the robot. You know that, right?
yeah, but the thing you did with my body, you made it little.
I'm not going to stuff Jesse in a bag. He'd die.
No, I don't know. Just make him little and have. make him little and have.
Jesse is
14.
alive, okay?
Grab him
Grab.
if things go crazy. I'm just saying.
Oh my
You can't have
gosh.
Jesse trying to smash everything in the streets.
As you walk back towards the... Oh, go ahead, Kira.
I'm just as you're talking about this journey. Assuming we're making a motion towards the gate, Kiera will pull up the hood on the cloak of Elvenkind.
Okay.
Good.
I'll
Also,
briefly ask Mortimer, do we need to be quiet?
The people... And he hesitates on that word. The ones we're going to see in the city. They are in some sort of dream-like state. When they wake up, they expect things to be the way they were. I don't think they understand what has happened to them. And as long as we do not disturb that dream, then we can pass unnoticed. The more we do to draw attention to ourselves or to interrupt the dream, the more dangerous it becomes.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
5.
You don't really have a reason not to, that you can think of.
I'm going to hold my shield and use it to cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Yeah.
Before we go in, why do we need to go through here?
Because the answers you seek are beyond this gate.
Inside check that.
Okay?
20. Oh, that's not good. 8.
8?
Hi.
Yeah.
It's almost so good.
It was almost so good.
Yeah, I mean, no obvious deception or anything like that. He actually seems a little nervous, particularly at Jeshi's response. He seems to be very, like, he's taking this very seriously, and the handful of interactions you've had with him have been a little bit not so much. So, yeah.
Okay.
This is
It
why
should
we
also
came.
be clear that I'm probably taking it the most seriously of our people as well.
Yeah.
I will match your caution in that I'm not rushing headfirst into this place. My experience with this has been based on stories, but vibes. I've been around it and I avoided it. To meet up.
I'll be right behind Mortimer.
But I know what's out here at night, so
Yeah, it's
Sure.
got to be better.
if we got Kinza's spell and I don't have reason to not believe him, I'm ready to move. Let's go.
Does my deception cloak matter to the dead?
Yeah, in some cases, it's like a visual sort of thing. It gives
It's
you advantage to
it's like
hide.
an active camo that's not a real camo. It's
Basically,
I would
yeah.
look like I belonged wherever I am.
Yeah, if you were trying to blend in or hide from things literally seeing you with their eyes, then yeah, it helps no matter what it is.
Should we put zombie makeup on you?
That sounds like a great idea. I think you should all do that.
Oh my god. Let
So
me get
they
my
wake up
makeup
and they're
bag
like-
out.
It's that thing where they're like, does everything look like how I thought it? And I'm just like,
And we're just posing.
As you all walk kind of towards the gate and you're finishing up this part of the conversation, you notice that within the large, very big wooden gates, there's a small door kind of built into the larger gate itself. That's typically used for guards moving in and out when the larger gates are closed. And Mortimer is approaching that. And before he gets to it, he turns around one more time and he says, "There is one more thing. If we get unlucky and someone is disturbed, it is important that you play along. Remember, we're part of the dream. We belong here. We're not outsiders. We're just part of Stillgate. We live and work here, whatever it has to be. Do you understand?"
Of course we don't understand. Yes, we'll do our best. This is crazy, but let's go quickly.
The ornate wood and iron gates loom above you, like a stern governess who scolds you for arriving disheveled for dinner. In spite of their imposing countenance, Mortimer swings the inner door inwards soundlessly. "Come inside, but be wary. It is still daytime and the city tends to sleep when the sun is in the sky. But there is no true pattern. Follow me closely. And try not to disturb anyone or anything." With that, he sweeps through the gatehouse and out into the sun-dappled streets of Stillgate. As you follow, some of you intrigued, some of you reluctant, you step into the strangest scene to befall you yet. The houses that line the streets are dour and severe, painted in dark crimsons and muted silvers. The architecture is Gothic, sharp, and intimidating. It stands in such contrast to the mundane fishing huts of Portsmouth or the utilitarian stone of Great Haven that it feels ostentatious and rich in a way you're unaccustomed to. Mortimer continues briskly, arms folded behind his back as he strides down the dark brick streets. At every corner, on every street, on benches and pulling carts and in all the poses and positions of life in the city, are the dead. They stand motionless and rigid, perfectly silent, perfectly still. It's as if they were frozen in place and forgotten, as if you were seeing just a moment in time, a slice in the life of the city, a sliver of itself. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. How's everybody feeling right now as you're walking through this place?
Odd. Kira will be odd in not in necessarily a terrified way, but in a this is real. She's taking it in, and this is a very new thing.
Hins is anxious, almost like I'm wanting to hold my breath as we're walking through, because I'm like trying to keep it together, knowing that we're not to disturb anything.
The rest is just sad for them. Sad that they're stuck in this seemingly eternal loop and they can't leave.
Thorkin is just
Really?
rolling the piece of 13 in his hands, kind of staring at nothing.
I'm
Jesse?
fighting not to have my sword and dagger in my hands. Like my hands just keep reaching for them to like be ready to super high alert, expecting something to attack us.
Joshi feels determined, disciplined.
I have a
Focus.
question. There is it. So all the people are frozen in time and dead. Is any of the environment alive? Are there real fruits, or are there animals, or is there anything that would indicate actual life?
Make a perception check.
If only you put points into percent.
Jay, what should I
man.
do with my character? Definitely not for perception.
17.
See, that was great. 17.
Yeah.
That's a good number. Didn't
Okay.
need any points. You're fine.
Imagine if it was a 25.
Oh.
So you look around, and it's the city is decaying, yet the environment itself seems almost partially frozen in time. In fact, when you look at the people, they are obviously undead. They have this sort of unsaturated, palish kind of skin. Their eyes are whited over, and you can see that in some cases, certain bodies have been decaying, but not as much as you would expect. I mean, this happened 100 years ago, and you guys run into undead all the time. These are not the same. These bodies have been preserved, as if time and the decay of time has slowed down in this space. In fact, as you're walking through this place, there is this stillness to everything, and a mist that sort of just covers. There's no fruits. There's no plant life. Everything is very stale and dry and dead, yet frozen.
Did we read any of those books? Thorkim, did you read any of those books that we pulled from Raikanen's shelves? Did he talk at all about this type, anything like this, like the stoppage of time? I mean, he was researching so many crazy things.
I'll kind of look over my shoulder, Vinny. It's like, I don't think the time to talk is now, Vinny.
Okay.
As I look around and just keep kind of head down, moving forward.
Mortimer, can they hear us?
And he looks back, and he just shoots you kind of a death glare. And he continues to walk. Belarissa, what are you doing right now? What's Ziggy doing right now?
I'm gonna have Ziggy turn invisible and just hang out with us for now. But maybe fly a little high, just kind of a aerial view, but not stay close.
Okay. So he just kind of evaporates into invisibility, and you hear / feel like a puff of the wings as the air kind of blows your hair a bit as he flies off your shoulder. You continue to walk, and Mortimer is walking briskly. He seems to be taking almost seemingly random paths. Like at one point you veer off the main road, down an alley, go down another road, and then back onto the main road, seemingly for no reason at all. The pathway he's taking just seems very odd, yet he's walking determinedly. He clearly has purpose to what he's doing.
As we're going, Jay,
Mhm.
if we get within, how close are we to like one of these figures?
Really close. Like this is, imagine
Okay.
a busy street, and you're almost weaving in and out of people. As
So
if
I'll
this
for
were-
sure do divine sense,
Okay.
which will help me sense anything affected by the hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead. I'm trying to confirm that these are undead.
Okay. I want to look up something real fast, so give me 30 seconds
Great.
if you guys want to talk about maybe what else is going on.
Can we pretend we're off the main street still in one of those back alleys?
Sure.
Do you think there's something keeping them alive? In a weird, what do you call it, Vinadil? Halfway in between alternate...
Alternative life.
I think they're all alive, but stuck.
I don't see their spirits. I know that sounds weird, but not like I did with Rin. They're still bodies. But yeah, everything feels
pretty dead in the face.
Yeah.
They definitely look dead. Well, I guess, do they look like statues? You know how like a preserved like stone, or is it
Gray.
like flesh? I mean, they're gray, but like, are they wrinkled? They look like regular people.
They look like regular people. Yeah.
I'm imagining wax museum.
What
Yeah.
about eyes? Are their eyes open?
The eyes are open. Most of the eyes are glazed over with this sort of milky
Okay,
white.
do any of them Scooby-Doo me?
Make a perception check.
Because I'm concerned about being Scooby-Dooed. 8.
8. No, you don't see any Scooby-Doos.
All right, I Scooby-Doo one of them.
Okay. As you do that, you cast Divine Sense, or
Yeah.
use Divine Sense, I should say. It's not a spell. It's just an ability that you have where you sort of open up your senses to this, extraneous information, and it's overwhelming, Jeshi. You literally almost fall over. Like it's like you get lightheaded for a second, as you've never experienced something like this. I mean, thousands, like an entire city, tens of thousands. It's hard to tell. I mean, you can't even count. You're in the middle of literally innumerable undead. None of them are moving, and your instincts, they're on fire. Every ounce of you is telling you to get out of this situation and to get clear of this danger, as Mortimer leads you deeper into the middle of it.
Yeah, all of Jeshi's neck muscles are taut, completely tensed.
Vinadil,
But he is laser focused.
Vin, make a dexterity check.
Just a check, not a save.
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
Does the pass without a trace help with that? Or is it just stealth checks?
It's just stealth. Yeah.
Stealth checks.
No.
Which does help, actually. I mean, you guys have been... Pass Without Trace is a spell that casts... It almost like muffles everything. So your whispering, your footfalls, everything you're doing is a little bit muted, which...
And we're not leaving tracks.
So we're not leaving tracks then.
Yeah. Vin, as you're walking through the rough cobblestone streets of one of the back alleys, your metallic foot catches on one of the raised stones, and you stumble, and you instinctively reach out and you grab a wall to not fall over, and it's just this bang, this loud kind of sound, and Mortimer freezes and he turns back. What's everyone else doing?
Kira will Kira, I assume, is walking at the back of all of these guys, because I positioned myself that way. I will stop moving, hood up, and kind of do a bit of a statue maneuver myself. Fold my hands in front of me and look down a little bit, just to kind of ensure the blend is happening.
I'm gonna look through Ziggy vision to see if any of them start moving.
Great.
Quick scan.
Make a perception check, Belrissa.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same with Thorkin Vision.
I always assumed it was the
Vision.
ghost part of Ghost Robot Vin that would
18.
screw us. It's the robot.
It's so rough.
18? Okay. Thorkin?
21.
Oh.
21. So you guys are, Vinadil's kind of behind, towards the back of the group, and a lot of you have come out onto one of the main thoroughfares, and you just hear this sound behind you, and you all instinctively kind of look around, and Mortimer has this look on his face like, oh boy. And sure enough, you see what looks like would have been a young woman, maybe early 20s. She's carrying a basket that whatever was once in this basket is long decayed. But she starts to walk out, and as she starts to walk out, probably in about a 15-foot radius, the other townspeople who are around, there's a shopkeeper who looks like he was in the middle of adjusting the awning above his stall, starts to move, and all around you, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, all the heads slowly start to turn in your direction. And they all start Scooby-Dooing towards you.
And I'm gonna move into like a 14 type walk. And whoever's closest to me, I'm gonna go like behind them and to the left, as if I'm kind of healing behind that human.
Okay. Mortimer
and just
suddenly
whisper under my breath, like,
Yep.
act normal.
Mortimer immediately steps forward up towards this woman, and he says, "Ma'am, I am so sorry for what has just happened. I was walking through the streets. I live just a few houses down, and I was bringing my son to his school this morning, and I seem to have tripped and fallen. I am so sorry to have disturbed you. Isn't that right, everybody who's with me? Weren't you just... Tell them how you belong here."
Yeah, we were shopping, and I made a noise, but I think it's okay. Like, I don't think he meant anything by it.
Belrissa, as you step forward and begin speaking, I need you to make either a deception or a performance check. Your choice.
Ooh, I can do that. Deception.
Kins, as Belrissa is speaking,
25.
Someone is coming up towards you behind you. 25? Great. Okay. Yeah. That's.
I believe her.
It's my time to shine.
So, what I'm kind of imagining is each of you are going to have to do a little something here. So you can think about what that is. So Kins, behind you, there's a taller man. He looks from his garb and just general demeanor, looks like maybe he was a city guard or a watchman of some kind. He holds an old broken spear, and he just sort of walks, and the lifeless eyes kind of stare down at you. And
Hello, sir. Excuse me. Sorry. And I kind of try to walk past him.
Mortimer rushes it. She is from a few streets down, and I have been showing her the town. You have such a beautiful town here, and it looks like you have guarded it so well, sir. I really appreciate the hard work you do. Isn't that right, Kins? Tell him how much you appreciate the job he does.
Oh, a great job. I definitely appreciate. You got to keep everyone safe. Very wonderful. Thank you, sir.
All right, make your check. Deception or performance.
I'm gonna do. I mean, it doesn't matter. The same modifier each way. 12.
Okay. Thorcum,
I'm gonna, since Mortimer did the thing, as soon as I realize you're gonna have to talk to these people, I cast invisibility on myself.
Okay, great. That'll do it. So you look at Thorcum, just disappears, and Mortimer goes.
On your roll.
Kira, you're kind of towards the back of the group, kind of observing this, and you suddenly feel a hand on your shoulder, and you instinctively look over, and it's just sort of this decrepit, sort of skin pulled tight, white skin, and you sort of like flinch and immediately spin around and look behind you, and there's what looks to be probably an elderly woman who's just kind of this ice cold grip on your shoulder, just kind of just like looking up at you. What do you say?
Oh, dear me. Madam, I'm so sorry. I've been looking for the smith. You see, I've broken my short sword, and I need to have it fixed before I go out into the wilds again. Do you think you could point me in the right direction?
All right, make your check.
18.
18. As you say this, points off in a direction and turns and starts to walk away. Belrissa, similarly, the woman who was in the street in the beginning, has lowered her head and just sort of walks back, kind of across wherever she happened to be headed. Jeshi, what do you got going on? As you're standing there, tense, you're starting to get a headache, a tension headache, as you're just, you've been tense and flexed muscles ever since you entered the city. And a group of children who look like they were playing ball in the street, they walk up to you and just...
Hello, my name is Geshi. I was in the wild and my hammer was damaged. Do you know the direction to a smith?
Kira will very, very obviously roll her eyes beyond all reason. Just
I'm gonna let it play out. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can help each other out here, or you can, or Jeshi can. You can go
yeah,
ahead
I'm gonna go. Walk up to him and talk to the kids as well, and be like,
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Geshi.
He hit his head really hard out there, and in the process broke his weaponry. So he really does need the smith, but the big bonk.
All right, Jeshi, you have advantage because Belrissa's helping you out here. So this is a deception check, or it's a performance check. It's kind of.
Oh, thank you, man. Do you know the way to the?
Oh my god.
Oh, would have been a natural 1. It's an 11.
Oh god.
Okay.
As Jeshi does this,
It was a very
I'm going
natural
to
1.
walk behind him invisible, and I'm going to use Flash of Genius to give him 5 on that 11, and I'm just going to go relax, like very softly.
Okay, great. All right, and then Vinadil, you've sort of just recovered. You almost fell over, and you realize that you've kind of caused this situation, and you've left basically a scuff in the side of the wall as you kind of stand up and you kind of realize what's going on, and you look down, and right around the corner of the brick corner that you've just sort of accidentally fallen into, there was what looked to be a guy who lives on the streets, was kind of sitting down, just leaning against the wall, and he begins to stand up, and you can see the clothing is sort of scraping across the brick as he starts to stand up and just slowly looks at you, and the face is just completely emotionless, but these creepy sounds, these clicking sounds as the arm comes up and starts to reach towards your face. What do you do?
I'm gonna, if I've ever seen 14 make some kind of I'm sorry or apology or go this way, madam movement, like I'm not saying anything, I'm full on becoming, robot Vin here.
You're going full robot
Embrace
here?
it. Embrace
Yeah,
it.
just-
Okay, then I'm gonna have this be a performance check, since
Kira will run up to, or not run, I guess, sneak. She's good at that. Up behind Vin, and as this hand is coming up, wait, just let it happen. You can do what you want with that information, but that's the advice I've decided to give you.
Okay, I'm gonna freeze then and let him touch me.
this hand just comes up, and your sensor receptors that are positioned across your robotic body pick up the scaly, kind of clammy hand of this undead as it grips your shoulder, pulls the rest of its body up. Mortimer walks over really quick. Sir, I recognize you. You are always here. I see you every morning when I go to work, and I would like to offer you. I don't have any on me right now, but tomorrow morning when I get some fresh fruit from the stall, I will bring you some breakfast. I think you deserve that. You're a fine member of this community. Ain't that right, Vinadil?
Is he talk? I'm not saying anything. Like, I'm playing robot here, so like I will nod my head big and like tip a cap, kind of a deal.
Last question: Is the undead perceiving Vinadil as a human being, or is the touch alerting it to maybe it being an inanimate object?
It doesn't seem to care or notice or anything. It's just.
But Mortimer
it's different.
seems to think that there's a reason to think that the undead is going to perceive Vinadil as a disturbing human.
In fact, he says, I also recognize that anything out of place that is not part of your normal routine might be disturbing to you, and that is certainly not my intention. I live a few streets over. I don't normally come over here, so we're going to go ahead and keep on moving. Let's go, everyone. Come on, right now. Right now. And he starts walking.
Okay.
And everybody within probably like a 100-200 foot radius has started to shift a little bit, as if it's like fading the further from the center of where it began as you begin to walk away. Is everybody following?
Yes.
Yes. But like as if we're shopping.
So you're like picking out the fruit, like,
well,
this one
but
looks
I mean,
good.
Like, no, like
He's a method actor.
He starts haggling with the undead guy.
Mortimer's walking like with his hands behind his back. I mean, like that, just like, a stroll through the market.
Casually, yeah.
Looking left, looking right,
Imagine you singing that musical number from Beauty and the Beast. Bonjour, ça va? I hope you're well.
There must be more than this provincial life.
That's all they need, people. They just need life.
A musical?
The dead person stands up. I know I will make Vinadil my wife.
Yes, what we need. Maybe that's how he comes back to life.
It took us
going
13
crazy.
episodes, but we finally revealed the true nature of our campaign. It's an undead musical. We're finally. It was all.
There is no better
It was a really big lead-up.
Loosely based on Hamilton, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. There's enough callbacks.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, all the things.
Okay.
Belrissa, you hear a voice, but it's not in your ears. It's in your mind. Hey,
Oh no.
Hey.
hey, hey, listen. I know you got a situation over there, but
Yeah.
listen, there's something that you, and I mean you, really need to see. Is there a way you could maybe dip away for a second? I understand the danger, but you need trust me. Listen, you and I, we got a thing, That's how I'm talking to you right now. There's a little something here. Listen, I'm about. Hold on. Let me look where. Okay, if you right beside you, there's a small path between some of those stalls right there. I need you to listen. Let them go, and I need you to come through the stalls. Just act casual. It's all right. You'll be fine. But you can't bring them. Do you understand me?
Yeah. You're not gonna kill me, Ziggy, are you?
Yeah, that's.
Never trust a cat.
like
There's no response.
Does Kira notice her start to try to make moves away from the group?
Make a perception check. Or, well, do you try to move away from the group?
Yes, I subtly start to kind of just hang back, let them pass. I'm very interested in what's in this stall shopping.
Oh.
Are you being sneaky or anything, or are you just going for it?
I'm just going for it.
Okay. Yeah, Kira, you see she's not even hiding it.
Okay. For whatever reason, Kira is going to, if I'm allowed to do this, remove the cloak of Elvenkind and offer it to Belrissa. Unquestioning of what she's doing or what her motives are, seeing that she's breaking away from the group, I'm going to offer you this this garment.
I love magic cloaks.
And
I
Jeshi-
promise I'll give it back.
Oh no.
If Jeshi sees, he will instinctively go with her because the buddy system
So
is
Kira,
clutch.
since
fine.
since this is your item, Kira,
Yeah.
you would know this requires attunement, so it wouldn't.
Oh, the cloak does require attunement. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work on
unfortunately,
her.
So it just
Yeah.
looked really cool.
Okay.
She
So
would
just
look pretty
look
cool. It just
It's
wouldn't help her.
It'll drip. Am I right?
Drip. Larissa with the drip.
Larissa,
No,
I can
it
see you trying
is
to move
drip.
away. Take the drip.
That is the drip. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
In that case, I mean, then rewind time and forget that I ever did anything like that. I just kind of give you a light nod.
Straighten
Good
it.
luck. See ya. Have fun. Let's, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, but Jeshi actually does literally instinctively second nature follow her.
Or you have to look though.
Hey.
You're gonna have to look though, Jessie. Let's see if you see her.
I glare at
But
everyone.
she said she wasn't stealthing.
Well, yeah, but she's behind you, so you'd have to be turning around to see her. Like she's at
She's
the back of the group.
behind me.
I'm like slowing.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
slowing down.
Okay, then
to
never
let
mind.
everyone pass.
All right.
So I wouldn't let her
I've-
go either, but I'm assuming I don't. I have no reason to turn around, so.
Okay, I feel like I should say that in my mind, I know Kira said she was at the back, but like, I would not let people be behind me.
Okay, so let's assume that you were there at the back with closer to this whole situation, and as
Yes.
Belrissa's slowing down, I perceive her making a move to leave. This is something that I would do. And as that's happening, I will just, because I don't know you all very well, kind of just tap Jeshi on the shoulder and give a little head nod of like, shrug. She looks like she's about to dip.
I follow. I follow her.
I grabbed Jeshi invisible. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone is behind. That's fine.
No, I could, dude.
No,
I
I'm in front
rolled
of you.
20 on perception, like when she said she was dipping, and like I just say it's like, don't make this
Okay.
worse.
Guys, it's.
I'm just behind Mortimer. I don't know what. I'm
That
just
Makes
looking
no
forward.
sense to me. I follow her.
I'm
Don't make it
gonna-
worse. It makes no sense to me.
gonna follow
her.
Mortimer.
I would
Just let
never
him go.
let somebody go away. By
All right,
myself.
Jeshi.
I telepathically communicate to Zig like these people are clingy.
You gotta do something about the redhead. I mean, seriously.
No.
He's got a screw loose or something. Listen, it's all right if he comes with you. Just don't let him, punch anybody or anything like that. Okay, this is very important. All right.
All right. I noticed Jeshi like starting to like look at me. I'm like,
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm literally second nature, just following you. I would if I see you leave, I'm not gonna leave you alone.
Okay. So if I notice you following me, I will walk.
I'm not
over.
interested in what you're doing. I don't care.
That's cool. I'm still gonna
Yeah.
come over and link arms and be like, just hang out with me.
With
for a
me?
sec. Yeah, I'm gonna link your.
Oh
like,
dear.
Come on.
Okay. Does everything.
Like if you're gonna be with me, just be with me, just right here, just for a sec.
You
Jeshi
guys-
makes a red cheeks check.
Yeah.
I'm a little distracted.
Belrissa, as you link arms with Jeshi, he's like completely flexed and like totally tense, and he's shaking and he's all sweaty, and he's just like, for the first time you notice Jeshi, he's just like, everything's fine, it's fine, we're fine, everything's great, I'm going with you, Belrissa.
Kira hears this voice like just out of nowhere. It's like, how do these people survive?
Without
And I'm just
Pretending like nothing is weird about that. Just, I really don't know.
All right, Belrissa, locked arms with
The
Jeshi,
buddy system.
like the buddy system, straight out of like,
Cool.
yeah,
How we survive.
you're straight out of Wizard of Oz right now, just like sort of
I'm
walking.
not skipping.
You're not skipping. Okay,
No, we're just
you
walking.
You make it across the sort of, it's like a little, almost like a little market kind of area. You go through behind a couple of stalls and you come out across the other side. And as you come out of this sort of behind these areas, you're in what looks to be sort of a central courtyard, central area. And you can see that on your left-hand side, there is a huge mansion, big Gothic mansion, just beautiful architecture. This is the type of building that, where you grew up, Belrissa, in Great Haven, with the Conclave, you were in kind of the nicer area, like of Great Haven, the less utilitarian portion. And this is like nothing. You've never seen anything like this. The architecture is just stunning, and really matches your style.
I like it.
You kind of think to yourself, probably. And as you look over, you see Ziggy just rematerialize, sort of hovering in front of what looks to be, there's a steel fence that wraps around this entire mansion, and he's just sort of hovering, staring inside through the fence, maybe 50 feet away.
What do you see?
Please come over here and do not get us killed in the process.
I look over. Jeshi, we're gonna go check something out. Is that cool? You come with me? Okay. All right. We walk over.
You walk over, and you notice, Belrissa, what Ziggy, your familiar, is staring at through through the steel fence. Beyond the fence, there's a small courtyard before a set of steps rise up to this massive mansion. In the center of the courtyard, there's a fountain, and behind the fountain, kind of facing towards the main gate, is a large stone statue. The statue is probably 12, maybe 15 feet tall, and it is the large figure of what looks to be, it's almost a gargoyle-like figure. It has these horns that come up out of its head. It's got these large wings coming out of its back, and it's just sort of in this pose of like looking up, and it looks like this used to be a majestic fountain, but it's all just sort of decrepit and grown over now. And as you see this statue, you immediately remember what happened down below Great Haven in those catacombs. It all flashes back, a flood of memories, whether they were repressed or whether they were gone. This is something that you haven't thought of this in weeks or ever. It's confusing. You get these flashes of power, of a pact, blood. You feel this need, this fear that something is owed, and you suddenly remember something you haven't thought about since you left. You made a pact. You didn't just walk out of Great Haven with your warlock abilities. They were in exchange. Your mind had buried these memories, and it comes rushing back. You're suddenly filled. You have, as if this situation wasn't terrifying enough, this somehow dwarfs it. You're standing in the middle of a city surrounded by tens of thousands of undead, and that's nothing compared to what you're staring at. The memories of the deal you made. But the memories are fragmented. Why? What was the pact? What was the deal? What do I owe? All you can think about is the terror of the entity that you stand before you. And you look over at Ziggy, and the typical casual, hey, everything's all right, this is not a big deal. He's frozen, his eyes are wide, and he's visibly shaking as he hovers in the air. How are you feeling right now?
Is it Zig? Who is that?
That's the boss.
Thought so.
Yeah. I did not expect that this is a thing we would run into. And I kind of had the feeling, because of the way we were, talking, that you did not know about this. I don't know. I just had this feeling that you needed to see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is all telepathic.
Yeah. You're just so Jessie, you're just looking, and it's this big, beautiful building, and all the undead nearby are frozen, and you're kind of just standing there watching as Belrissa.
Sweating profusely.
You're sweating, and Belrissa suddenly is too. It's not hard to notice. She looks incredibly distraught at whatever she's seeing or
Perfectly normal.
thinking.
Is he? Does this mean he's here?
He is not here. You would know, but whoever lives here, I mean, why do they have a statue of him? That's very weird. I think we should probably go as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But I thought hey, look.
What?
And he flutters down towards you, and he's just sort of like hovering in front of you, and you suddenly feel it, Belrissa. You feel the burning as your magical barrier tattoo, the one that you came out of Great Haven with, flares up and begins to burn your skin. Right now it comes up at the wrist, and it works its way up your arm. You can feel it just sort of just snaking its way across your chest and kind of down your side, and you just
What is happening?
you scream in pain. And Jessie, you notice that, and so do all the
The
undead.
scream? I noticed the scream.
Really?
So,
The ear-curdling scream.
so do all of the undead in like a
God.
quarter-mile radius.
Do we hear it?
Yeah.
You sure do.
Yeah, are we close enough?
sure do.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Mortimer turns around and just like, what? Where did she go?
I cast command on Belrissa.
Okay.
Snap.
What does it do?
You have to make a save. You're probably gonna make. I think it's 13 wisdom.
6.
Silence.
Belrissa, you feel compelled suddenly to repress that scream, and as the rest of you heard Belrissa scream, and you suddenly notice that Jessie and Belrissa are gone, and you hear a blood-curdling scream from maybe a block over.
Is it possible for Kira to make it to the rooftops from where she is?
Definitely.
Kira will make a leap to the closest rooftop.
Okay. Mortimer looks up at you, and he has this look up on his face like the situation has suddenly gotten out of control. As that is not a thing that I would recommend. Okay. Belrissa, you are. You're compelled to stop screaming, but the pain does not subside. It's working its way just down your side. You can feel it coming across your chest, and Jessie, you see that this white tattoo, which you recognize, it's like this literally ink kind of in the skin, like it was on her arm, is sort of snaking up in this geometric pattern, like just outside of the front of her dress, and Belrissa.
Just, like, try and wipe it back, whatever it is.
Okay, a few moments pass, and the pain begins to subside. What is everybody else doing?
Walking towards the scream. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, like concerned walking, but not running towards the scream. Looking at Mortimer.
Assuming that, Mortimer is like also coming along too.
Like, is there any instruction here?
Mortimer seems to, my friend, and he starts speaking real loud all of a sudden, and you can see it on his face, like he's not quite sure about this plan either, but he goes, my friends, this is such a beautiful city. I think we should all just scream at how much we love this place. I just love Stillgate.
Yeah!
I love Stillgate, don't I? We just
Stillgate's
love it
the
here.
best.
I do not know if this is going to work, but this is our only chance. You all better scream.
Yeah.
Screaming is a natural thing we do right here.
3 cheers for Stillgate.
Stillgate.
It's not quite working. And you all start to move towards where Belrissa is.
Can Kira see
we're-
Belrissa from the roof?
Yes.
We're calling Belrissa to us. like, get back here. Like,
Belrissa
Can I
is
hear?
folded over on the ground in pain, and Jessie, you're just standing there. And suddenly
Okay.
you hear Jessie, you hear, hey, yeah, you, hey, wake up. Listen,
Yes,
she needs your
I'm
help.
focused.
Get her off the ground. Let's go. Let's freaking go here. Let's go. Come on.
Okay, I pick
You
her
help
up.
her or
Help,
what?
help.
Pick her up. Pick
Okay.
her up.
I don't
You like
fight
throw her over your shoulder, or you kind of like
Fireman's.
fire?
Yeah.
All right, fireman grab her.
I gotta keep my hammer arm open.
Got it. You also suddenly you hear a bunch of yelling from your friends. who are
Stillgate,
nearby.
Stillgate,
I
Stillgate.
run unhappily towards the yelling.
An important distinction.
Okay, you make it back in a,
The running is unhappy.
in a few moments.
Whatever that looks like.
You make it back, and Mortimer he goes, yeah, I sure do love it here. This is not gonna work. We
Woo,
need to
Stillgate.
go, let's go. And he just breaks into a run, and he starts literally running through the streets.
okay,
All right.
we're following him.
Also running.
Kira
Alright.
keeps pace on the rooftops, looking down through the alleys to make sure that she's not losing everybody.
Kira,
Thorcum, between the two of us, we could make all of us invisible. I say in a lot of pain. No, we couldn't. No! I can't do that.
you Mortimer is like briskly walking / jogging, and he seems to be second guessing himself as to which route to take, and he dips into an alley, and you're following him. And Kira, you're following on the rooftops, and you're watching as this is happening, and basically almost like a wave coming behind you, everything you pass starts to wake up, and you're keeping ahead of it a little bit, but like seconds behind you, everything starts to and they all just start to move in the direction of the disturbance of the dream.
I'm gonna reach in to my bag of tricks. Just chuck an animal behind us, hoping that it's a distraction and that they
Okay,
will
a
be
diversion.
A diversion.
Roll the what animal is it?
It is it's a
diversion.
A diversionary animal.
it's a
Oh, the
4,
red
which
diversion.
is a
You need me to pull it up, or you got it?
no, I got it.
Okay.
I got it right here.
All right, a diversionary
A
Pokemon.
boar!
A boar.
Poodle.
Pumbaa comes back out.
Holy
Yes.
Pumbaa.
Oh my gosh. As she does that,
Musical.
It's
I wanna-
Mr. Pig. And he just
I
start
wanna
and he
use
just
that.
bowling pins through all the undead that are following you.
When
And they-
he was a young boy.
As she does that, I want to use Druidcraft like at the same time to make a really stinky like pig smell that follows it.
Pumbaa is just gonna run circles all over.
I don't know
all
if they
the
can
people.
smell, but we're making it stinky over there.
When Lynette and I went to Harry Potter World, they had the extra sensory things where it sprays you with water and stuff. That's what's happening here.
Yeah,
This
so
is like
it's
5
just
cents.
a stinky
music.
boar.
Yeah, just spray them with smell.
You are rushing through, and Mortimer picks up the pace. He's fast for his age, and he dips around a corner, and you see him as you turn the corner. He pulls out what looks to be a small component pouch, and he immediately has a bunch of what looks like sand or some sort of material. It's hard to tell in the chaos, but he starts to draw a circle on the ground, and without looking up, he says, "You need to keep them away from me for a minute while I do this. Do you understand? Keep them away." And he starts to this is going to take me about a minute, and I need
We
to
all
not be
hear that?
disturbed. Yeah, you're all here. What's everybody doing?
Are there 2 entrances
no.
here or just one?
You're in the middle of an alley with entrances on both sides.
Okay. I unceremoniously dump Belrissa and turn to and run to the back.
Okay.
To the entrance of this where we were coming from. I want that edge.
Got it.
And I'm gonna turn to 14 and or wherever Thorcum is and say, "Can you guard the other side?"
Kira will be checking doors to see if there are any unlocked to the buildings most adjacent to them.
All of the doors in the alley that you guys are in appear to be barred up. There's nothing. I mean, you might be able to get in, but they're not opening outright. Kins, what are you up to?
I'm splitting with Vin, going on one side,
Okay,
assuming that people are going on the other.
got it. And then Thorcom, what are you and 14 up to?
I'm going to stand next to Mortimer, kind of just eyeing what he's doing.
Okay.
Invisible.
Right, you're still invisible. And 14, I assume, is still following with
Yeah,
the group.
I can give
right?
him verbal commands. Yeah.
Okay, so as Mortimer is drawing some sort of magical something or other, it's very unclear what he's doing, and it's a bit messy and frantic, but the dead have started to coalesce around the alleyway.
Are they chasing the pig?
A lot of them did, for sure. The pig diverted a huge amount of undead
Awesome.
in an other ways direction, for sure. But
I got downhearted. How did you feel every time?
Can I make an Arcana check to see what he's doing?
you sure can.
Sure.
Yep.
Is this alchemic?
Who were the kids?
No, it is not.
Sorry.
Oh wow.
19 Arcana.
Mortimer is clearly drawing a teleportation circle, which is something you've seen before. You don't know how to do it, but you recognize it because these things are not uncommon, particularly in the old world. It doesn't take him very long. He's able to create the circle. It's on cobblestone, so it's a little wonky, and he doesn't seem quite sure about it, but he steps back and he mutters the words of a spell, and the teleportation circle flares up, and all of the dust along the ground just sort of turns into this sort of blue kind of flame that just sort of shoots up and maybe 5-6 inches off the ground is sort of hovering there. And he just looks up at the group kind of frantically, and he says, "We need to make sure none of them come with us, but all of you get in the circle right now."
I'm gonna have 14 pick up Belrissa.
Okay. Belrissa's still writhing on the ground in some sort of horrible pain.
Yeah. All right. Let's all go. I grab
at
Jesse.
the
Like,
yeah,
Jesse,
at the
let's go.
entrance as Vin pulls me, I use turn undead.
Okay.
So everything within 30 feet of me, I think, might run away from me. If it fails, they're safe.
Okay.
They run away for a minute.
Excellent. Yeah. So I'm going to say, for the sake of brevity, that a large portion of them just immediately just look all confused and just turn and just some strange fear that doesn't seem to fit them, the bodies themselves. They just sort of immediately turn and just start bolting in another direction. And Ziggy says, he says, "Hey, listen, that was not exactly what I expected, but I appreciate you getting my girl out of here. You know what I'm saying? All right." And he says, "Do you? Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Ow, this cat hurts. This cat is so sharp."
Ziggy is not happy.
So sharp.
He's like, "Get me out of here." So you all step onto the teleportation circle, and you see Mortimer pulls off of his hat, and you can see he's dripping sweat. He's clearly is a little more tense, perhaps maybe than he expected. But everyone's here. He mutters a few more words, and everything goes black. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a 5-minute intermission. When we get back, we're gonna find out where Mortimer took you, and we're gonna find out
Who wins the things?
who wins the things.
Congrats, Madman.
No, I don't think Madman entered. I don't think so.
We're gonna go quick stretch, grab a drink of water. We'll be back in 5 minutes. See you in a sec. As everything goes dark, as the teleportation spell ignites, and you all reappear, and it takes a few moments for your eyes to readjust to the light, and you kind of realize just the general feel and the smell and just everything, that you are actually not very far from where you started, but you appear to be kind of on a different area of the city, as none of the undead immediately nearby are reacting to your presence. Though you notice that in the immediate vicinity, kind of around you, as you just appear out of nowhere, some of them have started to, and you can see Mortimer. He takes his hat off. He's, "By the God, well, I sure do enjoy being here in this city right now, because I think that, oh hell," and he just pulls out a key, and he walks over to a door, and he is kind of walking towards the side of a building. Is everybody following?
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Yes,
suppose.
I picked Belrissa back up.
No, 14's carrying
ow.
Belrissa.
Ow.
If she's...
Okay.
14's carrying her, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You arrive finally at the servants' entrance of a multiple-story mansion that sits right off the main square. Mortimer produces a black key and leads the way inside. The servants' entrance opens into a long hallway in the bowels of the manor, with a large kitchen at the far end. He turns 90 degrees immediately, swinging a heavy oak door open on its thick iron hinges to reveal a winding staircase that descends below into the darkness. The base of the twisting stone stairway opens out into a large, comfortable den with couches, cushions, and a well-used fireplace. In every direction, there's more doors, more hallways, more paths into the complex of laboratories, libraries, and experimentation chambers that fill this basement level of this mansion. Of particular grandeur and interest is the solarium through the door in the north wall. The copper-banded door leads to a curious chamber made of glass and copper wire. The dome extends from this lower level in the basement up through the mansion to the sky above, where you can see that the sun has just set. In the center of the solarium sits a host of scientific equipment that rings 2 reclining examination chairs, glass, copper, and steel. It's a singular and extravagant chamber whose purpose you can only guess at. Though, the way Mortimer sizes you up, Vinadil, you can imagine one of those reclining physician's tables is probably earmarked for you. Mortimer stands in the kind of the main chamber and just... Well, that was not exactly what I had planned, but here we are. Belrissa, and he kind of hushes over to you, and you're...
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now, Belrissa?
I'm okay. Hey, that teleportation thing was pretty cool. How come?
Why could you not have done that from the very beginning?
Yeah, that.
Because...
We've avoided this whole mess altogether.
That is not something I take lightly, using magic like that. And listen to me. Every undead in the city has woken up in response to me using that kind of magic here. We're lucky we got inside. Now...
Where are we?
Well, this is, you might call this the closest thing I have to a home. This is my laboratory. This is where I do my work, my studies.
You live here?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of a long story, but yeah, you could say that. I live here.
What kind of wagon man has a mansion?
Well, it's not mine per se. It's but it ain't being used by anybody else. And I came across this, and I quite liked the accommodations, if you will. Allows me to do my work in peace, and thanks to the reputation Stillgate has, I am certainly not disturbed by anyone when I'm doing my work.
Mortimer, are you fully alive or like mostly alive? Like,
as far as I know, I'm fully alive.
okay,
But
just checking.
as
I mean-
Vinadil will tell you, that that is up for interpretation, depending on your perspective. But yes, I'm as alive as you are, Belrissa. Which, by the way, are you all right? And Belrissa, you notice for the first time that your tattoo has extended across most of your torso, and now everybody else, you see that her white tattoo, the geometric pattern, has come kind of across her chest and sneaking up on her neck a little bit. And Belrissa, you have gained +1 to your AC as your barrier tattoo has expanded in strength. Congratulations.
What?
Awesome.
Yay.
Hype.
Yeah, that hurt a lot, but I think I'm okay. I feel stronger.
Oh no.
I certainly don't understand, but I'm glad you are feeling better and that we're all alive.
Sorry,
What was
sorry
that
about
thing?
that.
What was that statue?
I
Kind of creepy. I mean, it's not an undead, so whatever. It's not powerful, but
yeah, I don't know its name.
Yeah. It was kind of neat. I don't know. Like, it was weird. You screamed pretty loud. I still haven't fully recovered in my right ear.
I'm sorry about that.
Ma-
Ziggy wanted
Ma-
Ziggy wanted me to see it, so we went.
oh, yeah. No, he's trustworthy.
He's totally trustworthy.
Mortimer, he steps towards the fireplace and he begins to put together a fire, and he seems to be pretty comfortable here. And after a few moments, he steps up and he says, "So, I suppose I should tell you why I brought you here. There is a lot going on, and I appreciate you putting yourselves in danger to come all the way here. There are a few things I would like to talk about, but in general, I am here to answer your questions. Thorcum, I'm sure you would like to know a lot about where I came across that little trinket you got there in your hand. The rest of you, Vinadil, I have been a bit more cryptic than perhaps is appropriate or that I ever wanted to be, but the world is in a difficult situation right now, and things can't always be the way they want."
I'll drop invisibility in one of the chairs.
Just got his leg up.
Yeah, just kind of recalling. It's like, so is this the place where we get our answers finally?
It is indeed. Depending on the answers you seek, I will tell you everything I can, because for whatever reason, perhaps despite my instincts, I trust you. I believe I heard about what you did on Alara's Rest, and something tells me that I'm back in the right horse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, hey man, that's cool. This is the second time we've met you. Do you mind if I cast a little spell on top of you? for the questions?
Yes.
He kind of looks at you, raises an eyebrow, like,
Cool.
What
Zone of truth.
what are you talking about?
Zone of truth right on top of him. Boom.
Okay. As you cast Zone of Truth, he casually raises an arm, and the spell has no effect.
Cast it again.
He does it again.
Cast it again.
Yeah, it does not seem to be having any effect. And he says, "Jeshi, listen, I understand this is difficult for you, but I will not allow myself to be put in a situation like that. You can either trust me, or you're welcome to walk up those stairs and leave. I'm not going to hold you here. You owe me nothing, and vice versa. You either trust me and I can tell you things. We have."
And as he says this, I was like, "Walk out." You just teleport us in the middle of an undead city.
Is there a third way?
A little bit at your mercy.
Eagle Airplane, Eagle Airlines.
It's fine, man. I mean, I'm not trying to leave you. I do that to most people that
I've
don't
noticed that
know
about
who
you.
I'm about to ask.
You're quite cavalier with the way you use those spells, and I understand, but this is going to be a relationship of mutual trust, or it isn't. That's for
We'll
y'all
see.
to decide.
Kira will be poking around some of the tools that are near the reclining examination table, and without looking at Mortimer, just ask, nobody in particular, but everybody knows it's Mortimer, what is this work you actually do here?
Without looking in your direction, he's still kind of looking at the fire as he's trying to get a fire going as night has fallen. He says, "I'm trying to save the world."
I'll walk up to the fireplace and just light it with my druid craft. And I'll just like make a left. You know,
Just drop the mic on him. Just
real power move right there. I'll be taking a lap around the room
Struggling with the matches.
and boom. I'm taking a lap around the room.
Thug glasses come on. Just
Da-da-na-na-na. Dun, 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 dun. As I take a lap around the room, though, after I do that, I'm just scanning to see if I see any like papers with words on it that are visible that I could read without having to pick up.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay.
The secret of a day out, J. No.
Yeah, exactly. That's kids right there.
Oh no.
I hate
Sir.
everything. Well, it was a natural one. I used all
She
my
was really
swag.
proud. Really proud.
All upside down.
All my
upside
drip
down.
in the
Fire and
That's
forgot
right.
how to read. God darn it.
Yeah, Kins, you don't. You're distracted. Like as you go to light the fire with your druid craft, you just look over and you're like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then all of a sudden you realize your sleeve has caught fire too. You're just like, oh. You just start, you just, and then smoke, and he just sort of looks over at you and doesn't even, just kind of laugh, doesn't even say anything. And
That can happen.
now you have
Okay.
smoke in your eyes and you can't see anything. You just perceive nothing. It's weird.
Look,
Jay, do I recognize any of the tools, what they would be used for? Like what?
There's a lot going on here. So
Okay.
if you can kind of picture this place, it's a multi-roomed, almost like there's like a room for where it looks like he does some sort of jewel crafting. There's a different sort of part of the workshop that's a little messier with like more. It looks like maybe a potion kind of area. There's the main solarium area where there's all sorts of like these weird copper like machines and like wires and stuff, like a very like Dr. Frankenstein kind of lab situation going on in there. And it looks like some of the stuff hasn't been touched in a long time. Like he's clearly set up shop here and been doing all manner of different types of things. And most of the tools, Thorcum, you recognize. It's not clear what he's doing, but there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, again, hyper focused on 13's core bit. Can I have an explanation?
And he walks
Where did
over.
you find this?
He walks over to you and he takes it in his hand. He says, "This right here is the key to Vinadil's salvation, if you believe it." And he hands it back to you. He says, "I stole that from a man known as the Tinker, and he has the rest of it." He turns and he walks back towards the fire, and the fire's now kind of starting to roar thanks to Kins, and he puts his hand up on the hearth and he says, "The Tinker is a dangerous fellow down in the steel sands, down in the desert in the south. He is what you might think of as a mad scientist. He's performing experiments, generally with machines, constructs, things of that nature. He's brought all manner of strange machine to life. He's created his he's been building what I can only describe as an army of machines, and he's filling them with souls."
And for the first time, for pretty much everybody, Thorcum is visibly disturbed by what has been just stated. Like, he's not even... And you chose to do the same thing.
I knew that would make you very uncomfortable and perhaps put our relationship off on the wrong foot. And I would like the opportunity to explain myself before you
Do you know
pass
the
judgment.
dangers?
When I first found out about the Tinker, I didn't believe that he could do what he claimed. I am something of an expert on death. I know a thing or two. At least I like to think myself that. And the things this man claimed to be able to do, I knew to be impossible. So I brushed it off. It Didn't think much of it. He's been paying good money for a couple of years now to any wagon men, any salvagers, anybody who comes across parts, any old war forged, any machinery of any kind. You bring it down to the tinker, you get paid real good. And I just thought he was another crazy person, lost his mind, you know. But then I started to hear stories, and I started to do a little digging. Went down there myself, and I'd seen it. And it's real. I knew then that whatever this guy had planned was not going to be good.
Does he have a name other than the Tinker? Who is he? Did you see him?
I did not get a direct look at him. He hides in some sort of pyramid where his main lab is, but I did manage to sneak inside, and I took that part, and I made it out, not without being seen, unfortunately. It was then that I knew I couldn't come back to Portsmouth because I was being followed. So I met up with Jeep, gave him that part. I had a feeling he would be pursued as well. And I'm assuming you told him about the situation with Jeep, or did you not?
Yeah. Were those men were those men with the Tinkerer?
I don't know for sure, but I would assume so.
And just side note, Thorkum, this is the first I'm hearing about, what did you say? Does he know the repercussions, the side effects? What was the phrase?
I'll kind of look at Vinny, and I'll look back at Mortimer. Do you want to explain? Do you know what you've done? Do you know what this person is doing?
I do know what this person is doing, and that's why I have endeavored to end it, to stop it. Now there are multiple threads coming together here that you need to understand. Vinadil, his spirit was not going to endure. The spirit winds outside of Stillgate, they ravage. He had a strong bond to your group, which is what prevented him from turning. But when his body was gone, he was not going to last. He would not have been able to prevent that. And I saw this as a solution to keep his spirit safe while we come up with a longer term solution, which I do have. The other thing I needed to understand, however, was what the Tinker is doing is he is placing fragmented, broken souls into those machines, and that's why they go haywire. They're mad. They're dangerous. They can't be controlled, but barely. But what he's been attempting to do with your old guardian is completely different. He's been searching for it. He's been searching for the city, Sans Splendor. He wants nothing greater than those secrets. He's been offering money for years. Any information about what happened to that city and that lost art of the artificers, how to create those steel defenders, how to create what you got right there. And when that man finds out what you got, all eyes on you, son. I needed to know.
How did you find me?
He says, when you reached Portsmouth, it didn't take long for word to get around that there was a man with what you got. You might say I've been keeping an ear open. What the Tinker's trying to do, it's difficult to explain. He has come up with a way, something to do with the magic of the place where his lab is. He can take the fractured souls of the undead, and he can, instead of letting them turn, he can bring them into his machines, but he can't fully control them. They don't have as much strength as they would if they were complete. I needed to know if it was possible. I needed a strong spirit. I had considered Ren, but she's just too sweet of a girl. I couldn't do that. But when Vinadil was there, I figured with what I knew might happen.
You didn't think to ask or tell me or what? Like,
Well,
you just blew dust in my face, put me in this thing, and left.
I probably could have been more tactful with that. I respect that.
I'd try to hit him with my fist, like with my robot fist.
I have 14 deflect it, and then I'm going to speak directly to Vin. This is the second time. Control yourself.
I not have a knife. It's just my fist.
Vinny, this is the danger.
Kira will
This
look
is
at
the
Mortimer
side effect.
and ask, so you're trying to put Vinadil, who's currently in a robot, into another different robot?
No. I mean, if Vinadil wants to remain in a robot, he is going to slowly go insane. He might have started to realize that. You might have noticed you have these tendencies from time to time where you feel more aggressive, you feel perhaps not quite yourself, and that is only going to deteriorate further. This body is not meant to contain your spirit. Though I do have to commend you, your spirit has been strong. It has endured what many would not. That is why you're here with us now.
I mean, Finn's always been a little insane. I mean, nothing's been that much out of the normal.
There's this side in my head that's like, I hadn't really noticed any difference. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
I cast
Or
protection
not.
from evil and good on myself.
So
I'm
Kin's
out
is
of
getting
spell
I was
slots.
gonna say that has to be your last spell slot.
Yeah, I did 3
Yeah, you
Zone of
did.
Truths. Too bad.
Kin's is getting very like deja vu from when she was talking to the hags. So I would like to insight check what is being said about Vin.
Yeah, go. Insight check.
All right, 20. Dirty 20.
He seems he seems completely relaxed, borderline vulnerable. You know, there's no deception that you can sense whatsoever. He's almost pleading with you as he's talking. You can see he feels bad about what he did to Vinadil a little bit. You know, he's kind of like, he recognizes that was kind of a messed up thing to do. But he kind of turns, you know, and he's kind of looking away from you all as he says this, and he says, "You all have to understand. There are big things at play here. The Tinker is a danger. He's a maniac. He is a man bent on gods know what kind of destruction."
Yeah, why is he making this crazy robot army? The Tinker.
He says,
Crazy ghost robot army.
Ghost, fractured soul robot army.
That's right.
Alternative lives.
Not alternity alive. No, these
No,
are definitely
different.
twisted
Yeah.
dead.
This is the 4th way.
These are
he says,
these are the twisted souls.
he looks at you, Boris. He says, I don't know why he's doing that, but what I do know is that he is perverting those spirits that, with the gate blocked as it is, the spirits that can't move on are lost. The winds that carry them, it's chaotic. They're fragmented,
Hey,
and
what do you know about the gate?
Yeah. Also, how do you see dead people?
Also, what gate? Is it Stillgate?
you have asked me a lot of questions in a very short amount of time.
And I'd know you were telling the truth if you would have just let me.
He says, I know a great deal about death. I have studied it
You
my
said
entire
that
life.
already.
And that includes the gate. Normally, when a soul dies, they pass through the gate into the other, well, you might say into the afterlife, whatever your religion tells you that is. But right now,
Confirm that. It sounds authentic.
Thank you, robot, on the trajectory of insanity. Matter.
says,
I believe him. Okay, shit. All right, it's gonna be okay.
He says, the gate itself is more of a metaphor, an allegory. The gate represents a conduit for which divine energy flows. The energy from the gods flowing in our direction. And the spirits and souls of the dead, the way they pass on in that direction. That gate is blocked right now. And that is why the gods, or what's left of them, cannot communicate the way they once did. That is why the dead do not pass the way they should, and that is why the world is ravaged by the effect of that. When souls cannot pass through the gate, they become fractured. A strong connection to a place or perhaps a group of friends might keep one whole for a time.
Yeah, but like Vin said, he actually saw it, so how could it be like a metaphor, an allegory? I don't understand.
You saw the gate? When you were...
Yeah, I also saw the gate, and Kins also saw the gate.
I would like to hear
The
that.
real gate.
It's a very real gate with a very
Made of
real
pearls.
person blocking it. I mean, I figured maybe you had died too, because everything you're saying is what I experienced. And then my
Divine sense.
soul came back.
Yeah, I am saying nothing to this
to
guy
see
right
if-
now.
We need to see if he's dead. Is he dead? Is this guy undead?
No, he's not dead. He's not undead.
No, Vin, he didn't die. He didn't die. You died. You died. You're like a pink.
Vin, you died.
dead right
That's
now.
what Jesse's saying.
It's
You
a
remember
different
it?
kind of living.
You remember it?
I do remember it. I never stopped remembering.
It sucked pretty bad.
I've
Do you
been
do you
here the
tell
whole
him
time.
kind of what you saw, or are you just leaving him with that kind of like half thing?
I mean, I started talking as if he has seen it too, because he's describing it so much like it was. Like, when were you there? That is exactly what happened when I died. And then I returned, but not like those monsters. Like something else.
As they're talking about this, I'm going to take the Hearthstone out of the bag of holding and toss it at Mortimer. And let's get back on track on things we can actually do. And
Wait, what did you just toss to him?
The Hearthstone.
It's
The
a wild
Hearthstone.
card
The
game.
demon stake stone. No, no.
It's the object. It's the object we got from the
Oh, it's a
house.
switch. No.
Okay.
Yeah, for that came
I'm
out
like-
of Constance.
I've noticed you
Oh,
have
the thing in your dad's thing. Okay,
no.
something like that. Okay.
No. I noticed you have alchemical supplies. I had nothing. Is there a way you can preserve Vin's body? And I just point at the bag of holding.
Shake it a bit.
Wait, you said the bag was preserving him.
Jerky.
And then I'll just like look at Barossa and look back at Mortimer.
And you're not
that is
gonna
what he
be-
said.
Yeah.
Should we throw some?
You did insight check me.
He says, the spirit winds do not blow in Stillgate. It's part of the effect of what's going on here. Vinadil's body will not decay. You can leave it here safely until we find the solution we need.
My
I would
granny
recommend doing that.
I'll get
Maya
up and find a place to put Vin.
used to tell me these stories of like super powerful clerics in our clan, and they would literally like, it didn't matter if the body was destroyed, they would just be like pew. I always thought it was made up though, but it was a good story.
He says, that magic is not as uncommon as you might think. However,
Do I believe him?
since the plague, about 50% of the time when you raise a body that way, it will come back infected. That is why that magic has not been used.
It's a high percentage.
That's
What if it comes back
part of-
infected and then you destroy it and then you cast the spell again?
Ooh, try like a do.
Because that would be.
Oh, you have it.
Hold on, let me crunch the numbers.
This is the one thing Jesse can do. No.
He says, if you can believe it or not, that you're not the first to think of that, and it has been tried, and
That person was a genius.
it is as if the soul itself is what contracted the disease. The body, it will come back again and again, and that
I
is-
try to cast protection from evil and good on myself, even though I can't.
Mortimer, you've studied death a lot. I have a couple questions. One is, how certain are you that it's the gates being closed and not some other thing that is causing the chaos in this world? How certain are you that it's the gate?
He turns for a second, and he paces a little, pondering your question, and he says, the old legends, they describe a great evil, kind of the classic stories, the ultimate evil, you know, the complete essence of darkness and evil, and how it wants to take over all living things. You've all heard the story. And there is a being of light which opposes that. And that is the gods. They come together and they oppose this thing. The conduit, what I have discovered through my research is that this being is, I don't really have the words to describe it, but it is as if it is trying to come into this world. It is trying to, it has been trying to do that for a great long time, and the gods have been opposing that force, and that is something that has existed for millennia, for long before any of us existed. But the magic that has caused the plague in the last century or so, that has been introduced by something else, something that is not of this. There is a different being, some sort of different power that has introduced itself to the equation, and I believe that is what has blocked or is preventing the movement through the gate, through the conduit. It's
Like to edge next to Kira and just ask her, like, is this making any sense to you?
Kira has had her back to this conversation, still kind of looking over these work tables, these scientific tables. And she feels Jessie there. The hood is still up on the Cloak of Elvenkind. And she is desperately trying to mask an overexertion of emotion about hearing all of these things. And with her back to everyone, and maybe this is more perceptible to Jessie given that he's so close to her, she will be choking back something and say, can you bring him back?
You're saying that to
Me?
Mortimer?
Who, me?
Saying that to the room, but yes, it's to Mortimer.
He seems to look over and kind of notice what's going on with Kira, and he says, I believe I have found a way, but it's dangerous. I've studied for years, a long time, to find a way. I too have a loved one whom I wish to return. And although I possess the abilities that should enable me to do that, I cannot. And it has been the focus of my life to change that fact. For a great many years, the world has spiraled in a long death, just decline. It gets worse every year. Until very recently, I heard a story about a group who defied that trend. They decided that they were going to take matters into their own hands, do the right thing, make a change. And I have to admit, I was inspired, and I came a-looking. What's happening on Alara's Rest, those hags you spoke about? When the gods became blocked from the world, it created vacuums all over the place. The tree of Alara is a place of power, and it ain't the only one. There are other beings out there just like them hags doing the same thing. And unfortunately...
Tinker.
Exactly. That pyramid that the Tinkers found himself shacked up in, building his robot army, he's not there by accident.
So what do we need to do different than what you've tried before? Why do you think it's going to work now?
I believe the key to all of this is what Thorkum's done right over there.
And as he says this, I unceremoniously turn the bag of holding inside out. And you just see all the contents apparate and like fall to the floor.
Including Vinadil's body.
Just plop. Oh, a tiny bit.
I move up to the body and I organize it.
I'm gonna reach up and put it on one of the chairs.
I continue organizing it so it's straightened, eyes closed.
How
Kira didn't know
stinky
there
is
was a
it?
body in that bag and looks down and the emotion is completely gone and now she's changing. Holy shit!
And
That was
I
an
was like-
unexpected turn.
That's Vin. That's fleshy Vin.
You've got his body
The real one. The real one.
I reverse the bag
Well,
again.
how are we gonna
and
put him back if we don't bring him with us?
Kira, in your
on
opinion,
your back, you've been dragging him through the flood and the tsunami.
Hey, Thorkum did it.
in your
Nope,
opinion,
none of us
which,
had anything to do
which
with
one
it.
of these two things is more of an abomination? This dead corpse or this live robot?
Who are you asking?
Pick one.
Kira,
I mean, I suppose it. She looks at the corpse.
it's the
I mean, I guess it would be nice to have
It's
him
the
back in the
robot.
flesh, wouldn't it?
no, okay.
So he's not clanking around like,
He's not
you're
very...
sort happened out there.
It is a distraction.
Yeah. Smacks in the wall. Sounds like you've dropped the dishes.
We're all just talking about him right in front of him.
Ben, you're just standing there.
Oh, he doesn't have feelings.
Also, he's gonna go crazy apparently if we keep him in there. So
Yeah, remember that one undead that licked you in the arm and your eagle, like what? Yeah, that's him right there. If he had a tongue, he doesn't have a tongue. I looked.
Even the Tin Man had a heart, but doesn't mean he can do a back handspring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no tongue. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Weirds me out. Gives me the skeeves. Anyway,
Back to Belrissa's very pertinent question. What is gonna make this different?
He says, well, that is where this very interesting machine comes into play. And he walks into the solarium, kind of expecting you guys to follow him. Assuming you do. He says, after many years of study and not a small amount of experimentation, I'm quite confident that I can put your body back, well, put your spirit back into your body, I suppose you could say. But to do that, there's a handful of things I need. Just so happens that heart stone that you found is a key component to this magic working. The other thing I need, and he points at Thorkum, is the rest of that. That is one part of the energy core of your old guardian. We're gonna need all of it. We need somewhere to store the energy so that we can complete the transference. I believe if we can put these pieces together, that we can get Vinadil back whole again without risking his spirit contracting that disease. Because once it does, it's over. And I figure if by doing that, we can take out that tinker fellow while we're at it, then we've done the world a bit of good.
You say we. Does that mean you're going to go with us to the Tinker?
Unfortunately, I cannot. In fact, I have another idea that I believe Kira here might be able to help me with. I believe if y'all can head south into the Steel Sand Desert, take care of this tinker, retrieve those parts that I know Thorcum is dead set on retrieving anyway, Kira and I can head off the opposite direction and do a bit of good on our own.
Whatever it takes, I'll go with you.
And I look Mortimer in the face, and as I'm kind of stowing the stuff on the ground back in my bag of holding. And why do you need 13's core? And I'd snap my fingers, and 14's plates just pop up, and there's a core there.
It is true we could use 14's core, but it would destroy him. And I don't think that's what you want. With Son Splendor gone, it's up to you, but I cannot guarantee that you'll ever be able to bring him back. Would you be willing to lose your guardian to save your friend?
13 score?
No, 14.
No,
score.
14 is what he's referring to.
I can rebuild the guardian. That's 14, but 13 I cannot. If you're saying it's going to destroy 13's core,
No, he's
going to have to be another way.
No, he's basically saying that if you were to use 14 in this way, you would not be able to rebuild him, is what he's suggesting. 13's core is already destroyed and sort of needs to be put back together with these parts to complete this, whatever this ritual is.
I'll look at the 13's core, and I'll look at 14.
And
I'd rather have
he interrupts.
Vinny's full body back.
He interrupts as you're saying that, and he says, the core is just a part of what we need. I believe that the Tinker has more of these parts that you seek. And part of the reason I did that experiment with poor Vinadil, and I do apologize for that, though you seem to be getting along fine, by the way. I needed to know for sure if this would work. I needed to understand if the Tinker was gonna be able to do what he's trying to do. And when it worked, I realized that I might need to move up my timeline, so to speak. I realized that the danger was a bit more urgent than perhaps I'd given it credit for, and that's why I had to leave so quickly. There are always other ways. There's always a third way, as you know well. But one way or another, we gotta head south. If that's not something you're interested in doing, then Kira and I are gonna head that way right now, and y'all can head back home. Sorry for wasting your time.
I put 13's core, the piece of the core, back in the bag of holding, and I don't completely understand his explanation. 13 is different than 14 in the fact that 13 was autonomous.
You also get the
Are you
sense...
saying this out loud?
I'm saying it to Jay. I'm trying to like this
Yeah.
is my
Okay,
thoughts.
okay.
I'm not saying this.
No,
Thorkum,
good.
you're totally right to say that, because a couple of things. One, you can tell he doesn't fully understand it, because nobody does except for the dwarves of San Splendor and the ancient artificers, which you are essentially the last of. The things you can do are not common. You know, you recall the boy kind of saying, "Hey, how do I like? I want to learn how to do that," and your response was, "This is a forbidden art. You know, you can't. This is not something you can learn how to do." And even Mortimer seems to recognize and understand that. In particular, this guy, the tinker he's described, is paying basically top dollar. He's got a whole sort of network of salvagers and mercenaries out there looking for any artifacts or information related to your city and that lost art, because he seems to recognize how powerful it is. So
I will
he
say,
yeah, go ahead.
one of my, I will say the next thing out loud. It's like, you said this pyramid is a place of power. Yes?
I believe it is, yes.
So you used your magic to infuse Vinny into this former automaton. You would need to come with us. I don't think you need the core. I think you need the power to make this work.
How far can you teleport?
He says, scratches his head. For reasons it's difficult for me to understand, it is not advisable that I use magic like that. I did it in that circumstance because, well, you can imagine what may have happened if I hadn't. But he kind of falters a little bit in his speech, and he says, it's not something I can do easily, and it has a tendency to go very badly. Let's just say that.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if I believe any of this, but that was cool. That was a good story.
Just kind of
Thorkum-
shake my head at Jeshy.
Thorkum, I will follow you, but you should know, I don't know if this guy was telling the truth. Do you think he is?
I'll just look at Jeshy. The truth is, and I'll take 13's core out, is this is all I care about right now. I hope we can get Vin back, but then I'll pocket it again.
What does my body look like as we took it out and set it down?
It doesn't look all
Locked
that
it.
different from the bodies out in the streets of Stillgate, which
Super pale and gross.
Oh, okay. That's not.
Oh, Vin, we can put makeup on you. It's fine.
I poke it, like, does it ooze at all, or is it pretty
No,
solid?
because it's not decaying anymore. It's
No.
all good. Just
It's
don't touch it.
preserved.
Don't touch it.
he
Kinda-
Like some ice on it, or maybe.
Mortimer speaks up, and he's gone back to kind of gazing at the fire, and he says, "We do not cut the threads. This is the way it has to be. If you're not the ones I thought you were, then I'll do my best to get you back to safety, and I will no longer take up any of your time."
What does
I'm
that
going.
mean? We do not cut the
Stand up.
threads.
Yeah. We heard
That's
that.
what what's his face said
You're
too.
the second
We
person that
heard
said
that
that to
before.
us. Yeah,
Who said that?
Wait, who
before?
said that?
the
It was-
giant.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
What does it
The
mean?
threads.
purr.
The threads. Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
Fig
purr.
Purr told us we don't cut the threads. What does that mean? What are the
Threads of
threads?
life.
I don't know, man. I've made a couple of different shirts, and like usually,
You've made
Yeah.
shirts. That's sweet.
yeah. I mean, you have to make everything.
Is it
What
drip?
if? What if? I mean, what if the threads have already been cut? What if this
What?
thing that's stopping, like,
We don't even know what the threads are. I don't know.
I know, but there's a lot of stuff.
Is this
that's
another
already-
one of those allegories?
Oh yeah, it's a
Yes.
riddle.
It's weird, man.
Let's focus on one thing at a time. And
I
can
mean,
you show
I'm
us the
good.
way out at least if you can't teleport us there?
Can we sleep here?
We gotta sleep here. Yeah, like we gotta go out in the daytime. We can't leave now.
Because I'd like to wake up tomorrow and
In Zombie
cast
Village.
Zone of Truth on you a couple
Oh,
times.
in this dungeon, by the fire, the lab.
Yeah.
Also, wait, what exactly do we need to get from this guy again? Just the core? Or core plus things?
The parts.
What parts?
Multiple parts. Yeah, that's a
We're
good
basically
question.
taking everything he has and stuffing it in the bag of holding. Is what I'm thinking.
How big do you think this thing is?
I don't know. I mean, my body's not
What?
anymore.
So it can
or all the
merge with
iron.
your flesh body, and
No, my
you'll now
body's
have
staying
2
here.
ghost robot bins.
My body's staying here. It's sitting in this room, safe and sound,
Oh, really?
until we can come back and
Okay,
fix
that
me.
makes me more comfortable. All right.
After we rest here, can you get us on our way, Mortimer?
Also, shopping list. Like, what do we need?
What?
What are we getting?
What do we need? We need the mission.
What are-
clearly
What are
stated?
we doing?
All the mission you
What are
guys
the
need.
quest objectives?
Are
Right- right
no,
now, the
are
quest
you
objective
guys
just,
need
like,
to worry
go
about
south,
like the tinker
Find
and
Tinkerer. Like,
like Vin getting Vin back. Like the everything else, I'm not gonna say.
Wait, are
anything.
you not coming with us? You're coming with us, Thorcum. So you need to be privy to the plan.
So
well,
like,
Thorkham's
which
looking for
pieces are we
13's
talking
parts.
about?
He knows what he's looking for. He's not.
Yeah.
He's just not going to tell us.
Is the core complete? that
so
you have?
bullet points, right? Just so we can move through this.
Okay.
There's this guy in the south desert, Steel Sands Desert,
Yes.
known as the
That
Tinker.
guy.
He's the guy who sent. He's been sending people all over the place looking for parts and old constructs, old warforged bodies, anything he can find. And he's the one who hired those thugs that Kira was chasing, that went after Jeep. We're trying to get the part back that Mortimer stole from him, which is the part of 13, which is the old Guardian. Now, those Guardians are of Dwarven make from the city of San Splendar, the city that Thorcum is originally from. He is looking for any trace of what happened to that city or any of the, particularly the parts of these old defenders, like 14 is, and like 13 is, the old Guardian. Because of all that, he has presumably the parts of 13, which is something Thorcum's been looking for kind of desperately. And Mortimer was able to steal that to sort of prove that out. And he's basically asked you to go south and get rid of this guy, take care of him. And while you're down there, retrieve whatever parts of 13 you wish to take. What he needs to help Vinadil is the core, the rest of the core of 13. And if you're able to bring that back, and he believes he can resurrect Vinadil back into his original body without risking his spirit contracting the plague.
Okay, so he only needs the core.
Yeah. He suggested that there's more of the 13 parts down there, which Thorcum knows he can utilize for all sorts of interesting things. So that would be something that he'd want to get to. But what the actual thing that Mortimer has asked you to retrieve is the core.
Yeah, listen, Mortimer, I understood almost none of that, and I'm pretty sure you also didn't understand any of the things you said. So let's get a couple of things clear. 1, if we go down there, it's because Thorcum wants to go down there. 2, if we come back here and Kira is in trouble, I'm going to kill you. And I'm not going to let you come back as an undead. So,
Have I done something
also-
to offend you?
Yes, you counterspelled my zone of truth 3 times. Twice would have been a coincidence. 3 times, shame on me. Am I right?
I suppose I can't fault you for not trusting me, but
Thank you.
I can assure you I mean you no harm. I've brought you here because I believe that you all are willing to do the right thing. If I'm mistaken, then we can go our separate ways. That's no skin off my back.
Not a matter of the right thing, matter of the honest thing. If I
Don't-
could cast zone of truth on myself, you would have believed me.
He just
That's
kind of
the
like
biggest
furrows his
Yogi Berra
brow and
comment.
kind of looks back at the rest of the group like.
I'm gonna try that later.
Kira will undo her brooch, let her cape fall into her bag, sit down on the nearest chair, and kind of concede, so to speak. It.
Get
Right
ready to
then.
sleep.
Tell me what's next.
He says, well, what's next is we need to spend the night. There's no going outside here in Stillgate at dark. Whatever magic is here, which is a story for another day, is, well, at night, it lifts, and the city goes about its business. Once that sun's set, people here, they move around as if they were still alive. They go about their day-to-day business. They shop at the stalls. They do the laundry. They go to work. They go to school. And when the sun comes back, they stop again. And there's no going outside at night unless you want to die a swift death. All those rumors about Stillgate that you've heard, that's because people come in here. They see that this city ain't as ruined as it's told. Come in here, try to loot, pillage. They never come out again.
Any danger of my body starting to move at night?
Yes, you're dead.
We got to
No.
take his batteries out.
No, not this thing. The body. Do we need to strap it to the table?
He says, the undead that you encounter out in the wilds, when you destroy one of them, that soul is released and finds its way. Spirit winds will carry it. The souls here, they're trapped. They don't leave. Spirit winds do not blow. Your spirit is safe in that body. That's why I put it there. Your body's going to be just fine. There are no errant spirits here. Your body's going to lay right where it stays until you come back for it.
Okay. Well, I don't sleep still. Apparently, dying takes away your need to sleep. So I'm just gonna go like low power mode.
God, I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Low power mode.
I mean, I don't sleep. That's
He
like a
also
Warforged
says,
thing. Like, I just
Yeah,
stand there and watch.
he basically says like he's
Dear Lord.
he's an open book. Like if you have questions about the city, about Wagon Men, about literally
I mean,
anything.
Dude,
I have
but-
so
So-
many
Yeah.
questions.
We
Not
should
a-
keep watch. Should
not
we
a-
take watch while we sleep?
I'm gonna be awake the whole night. I can watch the whole night.
Yeah, that's why we should keep watch.
Joshy, you also need a rest, Joshy.
Ziggy can watch with you. Let's keep
No,
going.
me and
good,
Ziggy,
good.
me and Ziggy, what could go wrong?
That
I've got
makes
a
me feel
question.
good.
How come them up there are not like what's out there?
It's a field of dreams situation.
If you build it, they will come.
It's your brains.
He says, there's a magic here that holds everything in some kind of stasis. I have searched for some clues, some understanding as to how it came to be. When I first came here, and took a little while, took a bit of risk to understand how to move around safely, but I was able to move through the city and do some research and look around, and I've tried to understand the nature of what happened here, but I have not been able to completely ascertain. But what I do know is that sometimes at random, but almost certainly at night when the sun sets, the spell seems to, the dream state that these souls are in seems to relax a bit and they go about their business. It's as if they maintain this idea that they're still alive, you know? And if you if they sense that something is happening that was not happening before, they get they get upset, and that's when things can go real bad. As for the magic and what caused it, that's not something I've discovered yet. However, that's part of what you and I are going to look into.
Understood.
So this place we're going, you said it's a desert. Is there anything we should know about the landscape? Like, is there water? Is it just sand? Is there anything you know about it?
Sure, yeah. Steel Sands is a white sand desert. It's used to be there's a scrolling through my notes here, find some details about some things for you. The entire area was originally a place where god known as Parasinius, god of discovery and craft, he originally built a temple there, and around that temple was a number of different areas that came up. There's a river that runs right nearby known as the Thestris. You can meet that river from the coast. In fact, if y'all wanted to head back to Portsmouth and take a ship, it would be about the same amount of time for you to travel that way. It really is up to you. You can travel south on foot through the Thorn Valley and then into the desert. Or head back to Portsmouth, find yourself a ship, travel down the coast and up the Thestris, and you'll be able to make about the same time.
Which way is safer?
Not getting on a damn boat.
No, we should take the boat.
Hey,
I've
you can
never
fly
seen
on
any
the
undead
eagle. Fly
out
on the
there.
eagle.
I'll take undead
Over what?
and just like
Seasickness?
He says,
Look at this thing. It's a dead robot.
he says, the area where the Tinker is, it's almost tropical. There's around the river you've got trees, you've got different oases around, and it's a bit nicer than traversing the desert itself. But to get there by foot, you will have to go through the desert. But you'll be all right.
Obviously not coming, but the footpath sounds more interesting to me from a viewer's perspective.
I don't know, man. The last time we were on the water, I guess it was 2 times ago, there was like a pirate. I threw an axe at Vin. It was crazy.
yeah,
There was
I'm
a
not
giant squid thing.
doing that again.
I don't know.
Yeah, the water's
Also,
pretty dangerous.
Ziggy was on a boat.
He was.
Well, and the giant crab things tried to eat us when we went to the island. Remember that? Like, the water isn't exactly a
Do you
wonderland.
remember that?
And there's that group of pirates you guys pissed off.
I remember that.
Oh, the pirates.
Yeah, you know,
I
you've,
know.
you've got sea monsters and pirates, or you've got,
Yeah.
white sand desert on foot. It's
Yeah.
I think Cobb would take us out again, right? Cobb and Velma. Reunite
his
the
little-
gang.
With us.
No, I'm not riding. That's barely a canoe.
Okay, as the night is winding down,
Yes.
I would like to ask Mortimer 2 more questions. The first is, to Jesse's recollection, an exact replica of the ethical question about Vin being trapped. So the thing from the mirror. So I ask him the same thing I asked Rogbard. I asked to this Mortimer guy. And the second question that I ask him is, does he know whose house this is?
Can you clarify the first question? Like, what do you?
Yeah.
actually
When
say?
we were in Raikanen's house,
Yeah.
and there were those ethical things in the mirror,
Mhm.
and there was the scenario of Vin's body being trapped,
Triggered a hidden trap and he's wedged and the water was rising.
and like you couldn't get him out. So I
Yeah.
asked Rogbard the same thing,
Mm.
but I'm gonna ask this guy that same
Okay.
thing.
But does Jesse remember the details of verbatim?
No, it could
or-
be off. It could definitely-
Or do you get a
I have,
little?
I have notes, so I'm
he-
literally reading from my book,
Yeah.
but
He
no promises.
he perks up for the first time. It's the night has dragged on. It's getting late at this point. But he
Here,
actually.
let me ask him.
All right.
This is Jeshi's recollection. This will tell you how bad Jeff's memory is. Okay.
Okay.
So say there's
good.
a cliff, and in the cliff there's like a crevasse, some say. And in that crevasse,
Yeah, culture.
for some reason, is Vinadil's body. That one. You see it? Smells a little. Boom, wedged in there. I think there's like some reason why, like, I don't know. You can't save him. It's Do you kill Vin or not?
Oh, I feel like it came right out of left field.
Jeshi clearly has a headache from trying to remember the details of this
You
riddle.
can't
That was
leave. Look, other people would die. You can't just like leave him there, but he'll die. So you have to pull him out. If you don't pull him out, then like he'll die. And if you do pull him out, then I guess you die. I don't know.
You hear. You know, I told you. I mean, this guy's literally
Ziggy,
gonna,
shut up.
He's gonna hurt himself. You gotta stop him from thinking so hard.
Is important.
Listen,
Jeshi's a dwarf.
That's correct.
Yes, just okay. Kira, who is very tall, will go and kind of just because we're standing next to each other, we'll just kind of like the creepy vampire lady in Resident Evil 8, just like slowly pull your tiny body in a little bit and just kind of like give you some warm embrace.
just pat him on the head.
Yeah,
It's a nice cloak. It's more.
yeah. Very nice.
The
It's warm
visual
in there.
is the
Feels
best.
very safe.
That's-
Like a
But I
thunder
mean
jacket
to
for a
ask
dog.
you, Mortimer, it is not okay to sacrifice in the name of some unknown future.
He looks
My
at you,
question
Jeshi.
is, would you do it?
He looks at you and he says, and he takes a few steps closer and kind of locks eye contact with you, and he says, "So you found my mirror."
Raikkonen? What
And
in the
that's
world?
where we're going to end tonight's session.
No. What? No, I am not okay.
I had it in my notes. I had it in my notes.
I don't even know what's happening. My mind is
Episode 3. Go watch episode 3.
okay. Episode 3.
That's why he knows about the gate.
I don't know, man. He didn't take Zone of Truth. It's not him.
It is very,
Jeshi's
very
so bent
sus.
about that. I love it.
And why he's trying to bring someone back. Ah.
I don't like it.
Never mind.
Oh man.
Total character break that I realized I didn't deliver this line right. When I had that moment where I asked, "Can you bring him back?" I realized that to you all that probably meant I was talking about Vinadil. I was
Oh,
not.
I thought you were
No,
talking
no,
about
I
someone
thought you were
else. I
talking
didn't
about
think you were
someone
talking about Vin at
Just
all.
to be clear, that was
We
meant
were-
to be very obvious that I
No,
was.
Vin is just a meat.
I did
Kira-
not think you meant Vinadil.
Kira
all
developed this
picked
very
up on
strong bond with Vin,
Yeah,
so much
no,
so
yeah,
that
no,
you got
no.
emotional about it.
Not so much.
His decaying body's so handsome. Can you bring him back?
Hey, see, we're gonna get the love story one day.
One way or the other, we're going to make Jay do a romance scene.
You know, it's odd. I think that your decaying body actually smells better than the one covered in the cat piss from earlier. That was the cat piss was still worse.
Oh, man.
All right, awesome. So, is Mortimer Raikkonen? What's going on here? We'll find out next week on episode 14 of The Long Death. Thank you, everybody, very much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Teej. Awesome, man.
Thanks,
We
Teej.
love having Kira here.
Teach and the Teach crew, man.
hope-
All of
Teach
them.
I hope this
crew.
guy doesn't kill Kira. Am I right?
Yeah, we gotta protect Kira.
Little off-screen death with
Wow.
a
Yeah, it's like just.
You're
go
a
off with it.
robot.
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is
Be a
how the
real one.
army of robots begins. Each of us dies one by one.
Maybe he's the tinkerer. He's like, I'm gonna take this guy north. You guys go south. Get
Yeah.
that tinkerer guy.
The end of the
That'd be a,
campaign is just robots.
Be a real bummer for your previously on 24 next week.
That's right.
Oh, Mayor Luna was here.
Oh yeah, and Mortimer shows up. Unfortunately, he's carrying Kira's head in a box. We don't really know what happened.
What's in the box?
Well,
What's in the box?
That's so funny.
Oh,
So,
escape for us.
kick-
Rating?
Kicked out a new raid. I don't know who this is, but they look pretty awesome. So we'll go find out. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna ask them how the plan's going. We're gonna go support some other streamers. Thanks everybody for watching. We had a great crowd all night, and we had a raid from Ink and Lyre. If anybody from Ink and Lyre is still here, thanks guys. That's awesome. It's really nice of you.
Very cool.
Ink and Lyre does awesome D&D shows. I think they have like 3 different shows going throughout the week. So
Yeah,
definitely
3 a week. Yeah.
go check them
Yeah,
out
it's
as
a
well.
great follow. You should follow.
Really solid follow for sure. Yeah, Teach, thanks man for hanging out. We definitely looking
Thanks,
forward to
Teach.
having Kira back. I guess we'll find out, what her and Mortimer are going to be up to in some amount of time. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, thanks everybody. We're gonna hit this raid, and I'm not gonna cut off my voice this time like I do every time. But I'm gonna say good luck with your bad plans.